Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stone Cold Ones with Leather Duchess today. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm not doing as
No?
great.
All right, we're off to a great start.
As you can see, we're in a different location here. Absolutely nothing is working. And hopefully we sound okay and there's not like a weird echo, which probably is going to happen because anytime we try to do something different on this show, there's always either an echo or just things don't work at all.
Change doesn't work for us.
So we're way late today for multiple reasons. One of them, I left my house late. I wasn't able to leave on time. And then trying to get here, and then none of my stuff worked at all, and then just trying to get this working. But we're here. We're still doing the show.
But out of all that, you know what the worst part is? I don't know if I look at you or the you in the thing.
You know, we talk about this every time we do this show. I think it's better to look this way.
If you're watching, comment. Is it more awkward if I'm talking to you or if I'm talking to you?
I think it's better if we talk this way, because when you look at me, especially the way your hair is right now, all you see is like black. So if we're just talking like this the whole time,
It's like, so tell me.
it's like we're ignoring the audience.
That's right.
And all they see is the side of our hair. So I think every once in a while, like sometimes I'll kind of look over like this, but my main focus
is you.
I don't look in the webcam. I look at you on the screen.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I didn't know.
Because that's the same way I do it when we're at home. I'm looking at you on screen.
Me too.
So I think that's what
I
works
look
best.
at me on screen too.
Yeah. It's hard to resist. By the way, your hair's looking good today.
Well, thank you.
It's got a lot of extra curl.
I fell asleep with it up.
Oh, okay.
It just stayed that way.
That's cool.
Put a lot of work.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So we have a I would say very special episode, but we didn't have a lot of preparation for this, and we don't have much planned necessarily. But this is Stone Cold Ones with Leather Duchess today, and basically it's a Cold Ones episode, but it's I guess going to be heavily revolving around Stone Cold Steve Austin from
And wrestling in general.
Yeah, 316. If you're unfamiliar, there's a kind of famous
National holiday.
It's a national holiday, Austin 316 Day. It's a famous line he did in his early career that really boosted his boosted him to popularity at the beginning. Yeah. And anyway, so 316 was the other day, and he just released a brand new beverage that is a Broken Skull lager.
Yeah, they forever they had the Broken Skull IPA, which was actually the beer I had for the very first episode, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did.
So it was like the very first episode we did on this. I had the Broken Skull IPA, and that was pretty cool. And I'm sure we'll talk about later about how that kind of threw us off that it was an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it took a long time, and they finally put out a lager on 316.
Yeah, and we did want to do this on 316 Day, but that was a Wednesday, which kind of would have sucked. And sometimes we'll like pre-record and then release it on that day, but
Wednesday, no good.
No, and also because the beer came out on Wednesday, so we couldn't really prep anything. But before we get any further into that, Mark, I'm gonna ask, what are you drinking today?
That's funny you ask. Today I am drinking a brand new from El Segundo, Steve Austin's Broken Skull.
Wait, start that over. What are you drinking?
Well, you know, it's from El Segundo, Steve Austin's Broken Skull Lager.
Probably didn't need the last one, but
What are you drinking?
I'm glad we got that gag out of the way right at the beginning. Funny story about what I'm drinking today. So the original plan, at least that I remember, you didn't even remember I was coming here today. So no. I guess I don't know what you thought the plan was today, but I was planning to come here for this, and I was El Segundo. I mean, I guess
that way.
it's
That's
kind
pretty far that way.
It's like kind of by LAX.
Yeah.
But for me, just because I'm way the heck over there, it's basically on the way to your house. Because it's like just because I'm
Kind of,
coming
yeah.
out to
Yeah.
the LA area, so I was just gonna drive by there on the way here, pick up a 12 pack,
Jeez.
and then come up here, and I couldn't do that because of a sequence of events, and then I saw that you posted a picture the other day
of the beer, yeah.
without telling me. So
Well, I haven't tried it.
See, I wouldn't have known.
I haven't
Well, I know
tried
you
it
haven't
yet.
tried it, but I wouldn't have known. I was planning to pick it up anyway. But I was like, oh, and so
So clearly he knows where to get it.
yeah.
Because I ain't gonna.
So
drive that
I was
far.
actually curious about where you got it because I've been looking on their website and they have a thing like where they're distributing to, and you
Yeah.
can look up your zip code, and I don't know if it's just not updated yet because it's brand new, but I looked up by my place and by my mom's place within 100 miles, and there was no
Really?
results. And I was looking on the website, and you could pre-order it, and then it'll either ship it to you or you could pick it up. But they had a thing on there that like we're now taking second pre-orders. They won't ship until after April 1st. So I was like,
wow.
oh man, I don't even know if I could get them at
Oh
the
my gosh.
brewery. So when I saw you had them, I was like,
Like, oh, at least there's some kind
yeah.
of.
But I was like,
Yeah.
where did you go pick them up, or like where'd you get it from?
Yeah, no, it kind of surprised me. Up here, like in the San Fernando, kind of like Somar area, there's a lot of craft beer and a lot of that crazy stuff. It's probably how I was able to get so many weird stuff for the early episodes. I need to turn that down.
Yeah, it's right next to your mic too.
But I went to this place called the Bottle Shop that's down here. And I've only been there once, but they have all kinds of crazy, weird looking stuff. I was like, I bet they got it. And I went, and they were like, no. But they were like, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and it'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So on the 17th, I got it.
Cool. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if the website just isn't updated yet because it's brand new. Because there's a few places by me that has a lot of random craft beer as well. I'd be kind of surprised if they got it up there. If they did, that'd be cool.
I would be too. Yeah.
Although I don't know if I enjoy it yet. I don't know if I answered either. I too am drinking the Broken Skull Lager, and I'm very excited about this because I haven't tried the IPA one yet,
That's right.
which
yeah.
I am still kind of curious about. And if I did end up going to the brewery today, I was going to get a mixed like
Some of
24
that.
pack
Oh,
because they sell
yeah.
like the IPA and lagers together.
Yeah.
I haven't found it anywhere.
It is not that bad. Like, I'm not an IPA person. You're not an IPA person. But if I was forced to drink an IPA, I would pick that one.
Yeah, that one I am interested in trying, but I wasn't as excited as I am about this one.
Yeah.
Because when you told me about that one, like I don't think I knew about it at the time when we had the show, the first episode. But I was like, that's cool. If you have more when I come over, I'll try it. You didn't. And then we just, I haven't seen it in stores anywhere since. And you haven't had it here since, at least since I've been here.
Yeah.
And, but I wasn't like, oh, I need to try that. But this one, as soon as they announced it, I was like, we were already like, we need to try this on cold ones the day it comes out.
Well, this is probably the first beer in a while that I've actually, or ever maybe, that I've actually kind of like expectations. Like, I'm really hoping it's good.
Yeah,
So-
I'm kind of nervous to open it
I
because I'm
know.
just like,
We're hyping
by the way,
it.
they do have the rattlesnake on there.
Oh, they do. And
That's
his
pretty cool.
signature.
I'll give you a close up of that one.
Hey,
Yeah.
check this
Got
out.
his autograph with his signature.
It says, this beer is the ultimate reward for a hard day's work. Brewed with the best American-grown barley and hops. Broken Skull American Lager goes down as easy as... The Broken Skull American Lager goes down as easy as a 3-day
Oh,
weekend.
God.
Cheers to those who are out there earning it.
You
That's
got to read it in his voice though.
Oh. This beer...
Oh.
It's...
All right, we got to do that again. Maybe we'll say that for later. But here, just read the 3-day weekend line in his voice.
All right. Broken Skull American Lager goes down as easy as a 3-day weekend.
All right, let's try this thing out.
All right.
It has a good smell to it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah,
That works.
that's exactly what I was hoping for,
That's exactly what
and
I was
exactly
hoping.
what I expected. That is really good.
That's actually, yeah, that works. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was a little worried. I was like, man, it's going to still have that IPA taste. For some odd reason. I don't know why I thought that. I am wet.
I'm a little wet.
Yeah, it worked, though. I like that.
Is it just me, or is there like a hint of orange in there? Or like citrus? I almost have like a hint of Blue Moon something at the end.
Like a way smoother version.
But not in a necessarily a bad way. Like I'm not a big fan of Blue Moon or Shock
No,
Top
me
or those
neither.
like orange flavored drinks.
It's definitely not flavored, but I think I know what you.
Because I think it does say somewhere, maybe not here, but I think on the website,
Oh.
maybe it says something about, it might mention,
It's kind of like those beers and wines that like say hints of this, and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. That is it's really smooth.
I really enjoy it.
Like, you know how you have the harshness of Budweiser or even Miller Lite? Like, most beers have that, like, at least a little edge to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have that.
Maybe they're flat. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You got it. No, not you. You got to try this.
Good job, El Segundo
Yeah,
Brewing
really.
Company and Steve Austin. You really know what you're doing.
I will definitely be buying this.
Surprisingly, Steve Austin knows a good beer.
He does. And he knows, more specifically, what? A great lager. And a great Pilsner, of course.
He hasn't made that yet. I'm waiting. Next time. Next 316. So something we talked about before is I'm actually surprised it took this long for him to make
A beer. in
or not
general.
that it took this long, but that he came out with this beer after an IPA.
Yeah, that threw me off, too.
Like during his whole career, as far as I know, he was never like a dark beer or like an IPA, because he started with Miller Lite, right? Was that
I believe so.
the first? There might have been something before that I don't know about, but
Like the beer truck.
I feel
and
like
all
the
that stuff.
longest beer thing he had that he was most known for was with Miller Lite until near the end of his career he switched
Yeah.
to a competitor I won't
I
mention.
was talking about. I will. I was talking about it the other day. I was like, I was saying, oh, what was it? I was like, oh yeah, when he first started, like in his prime, he was. Steve, if you're watching this, you're still in your prime. I'm just. But no, like during that '90s, Attitude Era, like when he was in his prime, he was a Miller Lite guy. And I was just talking about that, and I was like, yeah, and then later when he got closer to retirement, he was a Budweiser guy. And I kind of stopped myself, and I started thinking about that.
Because that's an old man's beer. Miller Lite's where the fun and the partying is, and then once you're old and ready to retire, you can settle down with a Budweiser. Oh, so I did have some things written down, non-related to Steve Austin.
Okay.
Did we want to do any like regular Cold Ones topics before getting into that, or should we just do all wrestling?
No, we can.
Because I feel like
Whatever's on your mind.
I feel like you'll have a lot more on that subject than me. I mean, I am a big Stone Cold fan. I wasn't into wrestling for that long.
At that time, yeah.
Or yeah, even like during
At that
his
time,
when he
yeah.
was there. I was only into it for a little bit. I don't know much about it, so I probably don't have much to say. But
Yeah. Whatever's on your mind.
okay.
This is my second podcast of the day.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You must be exhausted
Oh, it's just
from
tired.
that. Man, you're a seasoned veteran now.
Yeah.
You've been in the trenches.
In the trenches.
Yeah, I watched it and
Oh, jeez.
well, because I didn't know.
It threw me off. I didn't
know exactly what you meant. Like I kind of guessed what you were talking about in your message when you said like I was in the backstage, whatever. And
Yeah.
I figured that was like kind of a VIP thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
Which
and then-
doesn't mean anything.
But I
really
wasn't sure if it
particularly.
was like a planned, like you guys talked a little bit
No.
about the band or anything. And I watched it and it was like you're on for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just like, all right, thanks. That's just a little peek at what you can do at the VIP, which it was cool. It was cool that you're on there. Good for you. Yeah. Someone commented when you showed up.
Oh no,
Wayne's World. I don't know if they meant like you look like Wayne from Wayne's World. They just said Wayne's World.
Stacy Blades was talking about. Thank God, he was talking about a music video he did. I think when he was with LA Guns or something, that they recorded it, and I didn't know the place was real. At the Gasworks, and in Wayne's World, the place where Cassandra is playing is called the Gasworks, and you know the car on the thing.
Was he talking about that before you went on?
Yeah.
Okay, because I watched some of it, but I was kind of skipping around a little bit. I missed that part, so I just saw like you showed up.
Well, look, Wayne's World over here.
Yeah. Then he's kind of like where are you right now? So I'm just like Wayne's World. I was like, that's interesting. That's cool. The Gasworks.
I guess it's a real place. Yeah.
Cool. Was that the one with all the cars stacked on top of each other?
Thing, yeah.
Okay.
Funny enough, I was stuck in traffic as everyone is, and next to me was a blue. What are they called? Pacers. It was the exact same model as the Wayne's World car.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it was blue. That's cool.
So one thing I did want to mention is. I'm enjoying your background. I was thinking on the way here about, because I've slowly been working on, last week we talked about kind of moving over to YouTube for a little while and seeing how that goes and all that. So I've slowly been working on transferring all our stuff over to YouTube. And nothing's live yet on there. It's all private, but I'm going to put everything we have up to this point, I'm going to put it on there and then just release like one a day or something like that. And then I got to catch up too on the audio thing. I haven't uploaded one in like the last 3 or 4 episodes. Yeah, we're behind for sure.
By the way, go check us out on.
Yeah, I've been leaving everything up on. Usually we'll delete the Facebook ones like after a couple weeks, but I've been leaving everything up right now just because I've been behind on all that. But I'll catch up eventually. But yeah, feel free to, if you're interested in past episodes and future episodes, if you can't always make the live show, like when we're super late, starting at 10:30 at night. Check out our YouTube, Breakout Music. Is it now? I think just Breakout Music on YouTube. Nothing's there at the moment. Everything's all taken down. But like I said, I'm slowly updating that. But so I've been looking back at some of the old episodes and like getting everything together. And there was one episode just out of nowhere where you had this like brick backdrop behind you, and you were kind of mentioning how like, I just don't know about my background. I never liked anything, and during this time you were kind of like in a different room every episode trying to figure it out, and you had one with this brick backdrop, this and then it was gone the next episode. And so I was thinking today, I was just like, whatever happened to that thing? And I don't know if you could really see it in the camera or if it's kind of dark, but
I think you can see it.
When I walked in the door, I was like
there it is.
Oh, there it is.
It's back.
Funny enough.
And still not covering the whole area.
Oh yeah, you can see some white over there.
But it's still work. Let me cover that with my hand there.
You just got to move the camera in a little bit.
There you go.
No, I think it looks cool though.
No,
like the whole.
I need a bigger brick background. Oh, and by the way, it's not real brick.
You ran out of money for the rest of the wall.
But this is real. This is real. This is real.
It's just cardboard. It falls over.
What was that? It sounded like Joe Dirt. What did he say?
I don't know.
He said something.
That was funny. That'd be great if you hit it in the.
Are these? Oh, I can't say that. Never mind. I remember what he said.
No. I hope the mic caught that. I'm glad we're telling secrets on a podcast, on an audio, video and audio podcast.
Let me tell you. Are these? No.
That's what they're wondering right now.
Trevor Collins says, "What's up, dudes?"
Hey, what's going on, Trevor Collins?
And he is wasted.
That's awesome. We're not there yet just because I had to get here so late and we didn't get to have our pre-show beverages. Unfortunately, you might be able to tell by the way we're talking, we're pretty sober right now.
Sober.
Stone cold sober.
Pretty sober. Yep.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Maybe because I was thinking whatever.
Oh, stone cold sober.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
it.
Well, it doesn't work anymore.
Life's a garden. Dig it, Joe Dirt. That's right.
That is a line from Joe
That
Dirt.
is right.
Hey, Trevor, if you don't mind me asking, what are you drinking?
Yeah. What do you
Just thought I'd like to ask.
He said everything.
Yeah, hopefully. So, I was thinking on the way here. I got most of my topics on the way here because I didn't have much for today, and I knew we were doing the Stone Cold thing, and it was a long drive. So,
Yeah.
I was trying to get some topics, and so I was just driving, and I noticed I was wearing a shirt that's myself basically, and I was thinking because I wasn't actually planning to wear this shirt. I was gonna wear the Toxic Twin shirt. Just because it had a skull on it. I was like, yeah, that might kind of fit the theme. But, I was running late and I didn't have time to find anything. So I just threw the shirt on. And I was like, is it weird to wear a shirt of yourself? Like,
Well, I catch myself wearing leather Duchess shirts every once in a while. An animal shirt. That one's my favorite.
I don't know if that's as weird, though, because it's still a band.
It's still a band.
Like, this one literally has my
That's
name on
just
it.
you.
Like, this,
Yeah.
It says my name, and it's just a big... I mean, it's not, it's what do you call it? Whatever. It's a portrayal of me, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
Caricature.
But it's like my name and a thing, and I'm just like, maybe it's not weird right now because I'm not famous. So anyone that sees this
It just
doesn't
looks
know
like
what this
yeah.
is. But if I was a famous guy wearing this shirt, I think I might come off as like.
Yeah, I think at that point it would. Well, I went to that ghost show and I was at a restaurant right before the show, and this guy started like, "Hey, you here for the show?" and all that, because it's obvious when someone is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the more we talked, he's like, "Oh, so you're obviously in a band, right?" It's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's it called?" I was like, this is embarrassing, but Leather Duchess."
Maybe it's not that bad if you're self-aware of it. Like, for example, Steve-O has a big tattoo of himself on his back.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come off as, like, big-headed or pretentious to me. That's just kind of
It was just like,
something stupid to
yeah.
do.
Trevor Collins has some Heineken.
Okay.
I wonder.
It's not Newcastle. It's not Newcastle.
I wonder if it's in a mini keg.
It's probably not, because I think they only do that with Newcastle. The reason I was kind of thinking of that too is because I have a new goal to, aside from brands that I really am passionate about, that I love, for example, Miller Lite. That's like the only one. I was thinking I'm done with all this free advertisement, wearing other brands on like clothes and just having like a big and I was like, I have a new goal, which is a big goal for me, because as you know, as the people may know, it's not very often that I buy new shirts. I usually kind of gather them from other people.
Yes, you do.
And so I have a new goal to actually replace my whole wardrobe with only shirts. Okay, let me step back for a second so this will make more sense. So we were talking the other day about getting some merch out, or like some shirts and stuff like that for cold. Like, we want a Cold One shirt, and we want different ideas and stuff, merch wise.
Yeah.
And so I actually mocked some stuff up the other day, which I wanted to show you, but we didn't have time. So I'll probably show you when we're done here and see what you think. And we might have a couple shirts coming out in a week or so. But anyway, so I was thinking of that, and just thinking of different ideas and different stuff we could make from the show, or just from the band, even from our band, or just anything of what would be a cool shirt. And so I was like, I think I just want my whole wardrobe to just be stuff that we came up with. Just like, so I'm not advertising other bands. And so I'm also not just wearing like, no offense to anybody, but not just wearing a plain black T-shirt. You know,
that was on the nose.
Well, it was in my head before I noticed.
There's only one person in this room.
It was in my head before I noticed, but not that there's anything wrong. You know,
I'm about to go change.
Go for it. I have a few plain colored shirts, but I'm just, you know, I don't. I like images and big things like this.
I wouldn't want to be a complete piece of crap and just wear a plain black shirt.
So my goal, starting with the show and then just future endeavors, anytime I can think of something like that would be a cool shirt. I think I'm just gonna make a shirt of it, and you know, also we'll put it up in our store when we have one in case anyone else wants it. But I think I'm gonna do it more for me and just like I just want a bunch of random stuff of like stupid things we say either on this show or just like cool things with the band or whatever. Like I don't have all the leather Duchess shirts. I don't know why, but I have like 3 or 4 different ones.
And are you counting those like super old ones?
Yeah, like the very first banner logo we had.
Yeah.
The first rendition of the
white shirts.
Girl that we had. Yeah, the white one. And then I have. I don't think I have any animal T-shirts. Like I have this one, but those ones with the painting of me.
One. I have that one.
I don't think I have any of those.
I have that one. The newer one. I have that one, and the other day I was looking through my box of old shirts, and I have the original animal one. I
don't think I have any with the painting animal.
Where it's like that one, but not the bootleg.
Yeah, I have the real one of this too.
Okay.
I only like this one better because I don't like the leather Duchess font.
Oh, those are terrible.
It's terrible. It looks very like we found it online and just kind of put it on there.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I have very many of the new ones. I just bought. I'm in the band, but I had to buy it. The Dangerous Toys one because I had to have that one. But I think. So I have that stuff. I have some Glam Skank shirts. I have the one that I stole from my mom because I don't know where mine went, but I have the one with my face on it and the other girls, and then the shirts I had before I was in the band. So I have a few shirts. But now I need some more to have like a good variety. The only I am still planning to keep some of my shirts for like stage clothes and like band things. Like I'm still gonna have my Motley Crue shirts and like some of the ones that I wear specifically on stage where it's like cut a certain way or whatever. But I'm talking about like everyday wear.
Yeah.
Or like doing the podcast. Like why am I gonna wear I don't even know what shirts I have.
A plain black shirt.
Why am I going to wear a plain black shirt when I could have one that's advertising cold ones with leather Duchess?
Yeah. I'm about to go change.
and plain black shirt and basketball shorts.
Hey, they don't know that. they did not need to know that.
They'll find out when you have to go pee in 5 seconds. Don't worry. I'll hold this down. But back to the initial question, is it weird to wear a shirt of myself?
Well, I think you brought up a really good point, and I got to give the exemption for the point you made, or with the point you made about not being famous. Yet, so it like, I think you can get away with it, you know? Like I thought it was more weird that I had a leather Duchess shirt than the guy did.
Yeah, I don't think that's weird. I think even like Steel Panther shows, like I think Michael Starr sometimes he'll wear Steel Panther shirt.
They always wear their stuff. Yeah.
Well, they'll wear their own things, but Michael will straight up just wear like
Steel Panther
shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe sometimes the other guys do too, but like I don't find that as weird. Although I was never one that's like I'm gonna wear my band shirt on stage. I think that's a little weird for me.
Crash Diet does that. Like, that's the first band I ever seen that did that. I didn't know bands did that.
Yeah, I feel like Steel Panther's kind of an exception because, they're obviously... It's kind of like they can do whatever they want because even if it comes off as like, weird or cheesy, it's like,
that's what they're
kind of... even if that's not on purpose, it's like I just feel like wearing a Steel Panther shirt. If it comes off as cheesy, it's like, well, they're a cheesy band anyway. So.
Yeah.
And that's today's 30 Seconds to Panther.
Hey, that was pretty good.
That wasn't planned, but I realized where I was going, and I was like, I need to cut myself off.
Dude, I didn't even catch that. Wow. And
Yeah.
I'm the timekeeper.
I know. I think we're gonna need a third
Man.
person just for that.
Yeah.
When it, and they'll never be shown on the show. They'll never
Yeah.
say anything, but they'll just be like in my ear. So once I start going, they'll be like, "You're talking about Steel Panther." Be like,
Yeah.
"Oh crap! How much time do I have? 20 seconds. I gotta end it." So that's all for that. But I think they're the only one where it's an exception. But I just think it's weird for a band to wear their own shirt on stage.
Well, we made not so much a point about it, but we definitely implied that amongst ourselves in the very beginning of the band, we had all these like
a lot of rules in this
a lot
band.
of rules
A lot
that
of
were
rules.
unsaid and some that were said. Like, it was never that we sat down and said, okay, no one's going to do this, no one's going to do that.
We did do that once though.
But we...
Don't yell into the mic over the singer.
I wonder who did that. And I think our tactic was shame. We shame each other
Yeah.
in the right direction.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You know, like, if I wore something that is like, okay, don't. Instead of saying, that's stupid, don't ever wear that again, they kind of wait for me to be self-aware and be like, oh, that wasn't great. And then everyone at the same time is like, yeah. Like, what?
Well, we all know how I like driving things into the ground. Like wearing plain black shirts and, you know, just things like that. And I think we kind of go about it in that way. If like someone does something we didn't like we'll kind of just
make it known.
Make a passive aggressive, not passive aggressive, but just like a passive comment about it. Not like straight out pointing out, but just
Kinda
saying
crap
something
on each other.
And then, you know, you kind of throw it in there every once in a while in
Yeah.
conversation.
Like, we used to, before we moved out here, when we were visiting and stuff like that, you know, I wasn't the cool one. It was Tyler and Storm. They were the cool ones, you know, the big hair, and they had all the chains and all that stuff. And I didn't. My hair was like down to here because I had just recently cut it like a year before, and just I wasn't there yet. And you know, and it's funny because they'll say something like, oh yeah, that's stupid when people do that. And I'm like, all right.
So you didn't know it was cool yet. You're just standing in the back, just taking notes. Like, okay.
Well, you know, like I had been playing little bars in Western Oklahoma my whole life. Like, I don't know any of this, like what's cool and what's not cool. I just knew they would pay me $100 a week to play stupid songs. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that is kind of dumb, huh? Not that I was doing it, but like, it would be stuff that I had even thought about, like, oh, what if I did that? And then later I hear somebody say, oh my God, have you seen so-and-so? Like,
What's funny about that though is you're a lot more self-conscious about that stuff,
Mhm.
and I'm not. Like I have thoughts about certain things like I wouldn't do, and I think is lame or cheesy. But if there's something that I did do that someone said something about, I'd just be like, whatever. Like, for example, I don't know about so much now, but back in the early days, everyone in the band would wear cowboy boots.
yeah.
And I wanted to be a little different and was like, I'm going to wear pirate boots. Now, there might be a lot of people out there that think pirate boots are either cheesy or lame or like a costume or stupid, you know, whatever. It's like, you're not a pirate. Like,
That sounds like Dodgeball, where he's like, "You're not a pirate."
Oh yeah. And you know, even you guys have never said anything about it. I don't know if anyone has
like
a problem with it.
I think they're cool.
But even if every single member of the band hounded me about it every single practice, I'd probably still wear them.
That's still your
I'd
one
like,
little
I'm just gonna wear pirate boots. I don't
yeah.
care. I thought there was an unspoken rule about stealing people's bandanas, but you know that happened. So
Dude, you've been driving that one home since 2014.
I know. I got this new one the other day. What was I wearing it for? It might have been a photo shoot or something. And I was talking to Tyler about it because I thought it was cool. And, you know, he's all into bandanas and probably more than I am now. But And I was talking to him about it, and I was just like, I probably shouldn't tell you this because I'm sure you're going to end up wearing it the next time we're together, and I can't wear it anymore. But this is what I got, and no, it's fine, whatever. I kind of see it as that was that era, and now this era, I just don't wear them as much. Well, actually, I'm kind of getting back into them again. It was that era, I was very bandana heavy. Then the last era we just had, I don't think I wore a bandana at all.
Yeah.
Part of it was because Tyler stole my bandana. Not mine.
Who are you protesting? Do you think he's going to notice?
What?
He's like, oh, no.
No, I told him.
Oh, okay.
I told him multiple times before. Part of it was because he didn't steal the one I had. He just bought the exact same one I had.
Oh, that's weird.
And that's kind of one of our unwritten rules is like, I don't know if it was on purpose. I don't think he like went specifically like, I want his bandana. But I think he just bought some. And one of them happened to be the one I had.
Oh,
and then he'd wear it all the
didn't know
time.
that.
And that's one of our kind of unspoken rules is we don't want two guys wearing the exact same bandana. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Or every member wearing a bandana.
Yeah.
We have ran into that problem once.
Either hats or bandanas or sunglasses in photo shoots.
Ooh,
like
yeah.
we gotta
Ooh,
balance
We're not
it
a big
out.
sunglass band though.
Not really.
Yeah.
That one hasn't been a problem, but hats and bandanas we kind of have to.
That's a problem.
We got to know who's wearing what during what outfit.
Yeah.
But so it was a mix of Tyler got the bandana and he was wearing that a lot, and I was like, well, I can't wear it when he's wearing it. And then when we played the Canyon Club, I think I left it there.
Oh.
And that was my favorite one. I had like a couple of, I have the smaller ones I wear and stuff.
Yeah.
But I left it there, and I was like, I just didn't buy it again because I was like, Tyler wears it all the time anyway. And so I just kind of stopped wearing them for a while. But now I'm kind of getting back into them because I'm trying the black and red thing this time.
Oh, that's right.
So I got some red bandanas, and we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, two more things real quick, and then we did call this Stone Cold one, so we probably should eventually get to that before we've gone like 2 hours without going back to Stone Cold.
Steve's probably watching this. He's like, dude.
Yeah. He was like, they named it after me, and they haven't talked about me once except opening a beer.
Just get to it, would you?
One small thing. Jet Black Romance, I think, came out with a new single today.
It did.
Have you heard it?
I have heard it.
I have not.
Okay.
Is it any good?
Yes.
I probably should know because I'm technically in the band. But I mean, no, I'm sorry. Hey, did you hear the new single I just released today? Or
Yes, I did.
my band released today?
Yes, I did.
Aren't those drums freaking booming?
They sound so perfect.
Yeah, like, dude, I've been practicing. It's almost like I became the metronome. It
Yeah.
sounds great. I'm excited to hear it, though. Their last one was pretty cool. I liked it. Apparently, I didn't know this, but you said that was a song from way back then.
And once all you people leave, we'll listen to it. We'll throw it up on the thing.
First thing we're doing when we end here.
Yeah.
I got to hear the new one.
But yeah, that last one, I Only Want You, they just came out with last time. It's weird that I'm saying it. But that one was really cool. And I started thinking about it, and it was like maybe the second time I heard it, I was like, oh, I know this song. And if any of you guys are watching from the band, sorry, I don't know if that's, I don't think it matters.
We're
right?
breaking rules.
Yeah, speaking of unspoken rules. But anyways, like I remember that song from like 2014, 2015. I can tell a lot of it, like pieces have changed and stuff like that. But like that melody, because like Colton is really good with melodies, like really good at writing catchy melodies and stuff like that. And so immediately I remember that, because I loved that song back then, And he didn't really have a home for that song or a couple other ones. So I was like, well, we could play it. That'd be cool. So we kind of, he was sending a bunch of songs, and that was one of them. And I used to really like that one. And so it really threw me off when I heard that the other day. But I was on Dizzy's Instagram Live. I was just watching him kind of jam. And yeah, he mentioned that too, that it was like an older song as well. Yeah.
So we're allowed.
So we're allowed, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool song. I liked it.
Yeah. Again, Colton with that melody.
I know. But yeah, they just came out with the new one today. What's it called? Rock and Roll Riot? Is that
Yeah.
Which I think is the title for the new album coming
Yeah,
out, right?
yeah.
I haven't heard it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I did remember it came out on the way here, but I didn't listen to it because I was like, I don't know if Mark listened to it yet, and I'll wait till I get here and we can hear it together. I figured you did though, 'cause you're a pretty big fan of my band.
I am a fan of your band.
No, we're both
Both
pretty,
of them.
both of them. we're both pretty big fans of Jet Black Romance.
Yeah.
So and he's more on top of that stuff than I am, so I figured he'd hear it right away. And but I thought I'd just wait till we get here, hear it on the big screen with the big speakers.
Hear it on the big
Hear it on the big screen. Yeah, I heard that as soon as I said it.
Hey,
anyway.
what are you drinking tonight? Funny you ask.
Another beer. Okay.
I rolled up, realized that it was a dry county. I wanted a little bit of beer, some whiskey, some vodka, more whiskey, more beer.
Oh man, I'm surprised you got that to work.
I seen the W.
Oh, funny story. Don't give out secrets.
Or I mean,
I put it under W.
yes,
For what? So Mark doesn't get confused.
Wumbo.
What? Wumbo.
So even that
Funny
I
story.
realize.
This isn't the. This was supposed to be like 5 minutes or 5 seconds, then we go to Stone Cold. But I promise we'll be there in a minute. This just happened, so I gotta tell you guys. So a few weeks ago, we tried doing this this kind of commentary over our white leather video that came out, which was a huge disaster on your
I'm looking at the
technology
disaster right now.
your technology part. But on top of that,
Not you guys.
I went back to put it on YouTube, which I ended up not doing because, like I said, I'm kind of redoing everything. But like I said at the beginning of this, whenever you try to do something different, it always doesn't work. There's either something's always wrong. Either someone can't be heard or whatever. So looking back, aside from you not working, like your computer not working and stuff, the whole first half of the episode's fine. Once we switched the part where we're watching the video and commenting on it, my mic is like doubling and echoing like the whole time.
Oh no.
On the bright side, it's like the first minute or so, it's like it's pretty bad, or it's almost like you can't even watch it, which that sucks, and it's very echoed. But eventually, it kind of catches up where it's more just doubled. So like it still works, but it's just kind of annoying for me. I don't know if anyone noticed or cared.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so that sucked. But so after that episode, because Mark got so mad, he pretty much destroyed his laptop.
I did.
Trashed it.
I threw it in the trash can.
Maybe punched. Did you punch it?
No, I didn't.
You just threw it in the trash can, and then took it out because you're like, oh, I got to do cold.
I guess.
week.
Yeah. Well, I thought I've never thrown away a computer before because I've never had a computer like a laptop before. I would imagine there's a certain protocol to go.
Yeah, you're supposed to take it to an electronics recycling center.
Okay, because I threw it in the trash can.
I mean, technically, you could do that and they'll take it, but it's not. I think it's just not good for the environment. I don't know if there's any, if it'll like, I don't know the technical stuff behind it, but
It didn't feel right.
yeah, anytime you have even batteries, even like small
too,
stuff,
yeah.
just anything electric or because batteries has what is it, lithium or whatever in it, anything like that, you're supposed to take it to a specific electronics recycling center.
I won't, but
Yeah, I doubt anybody
ever
takes batteries.
I would not want to spend more than 15 minutes with any person that actually takes a bag of batteries to the recycling.
What if people just, you know how some people have like their recycling can?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm not gonna say some people, because you know a lot of people have normal recycling, like you just throw your paper or whatever. I'm talking about like alcoholics like us. They'll have like a full. Which you're probably familiar with this, because this might even just be more of like a Mexican thing, because I notice it a lot from my Mexican family,
Okay.
but also Mexicans are usually more prone to being alcoholics, and I'm just talking about from my family experience. The Mexican side is more the drinkers, the other side is not. So, but they have like
Comments are blowing up.
yeah,
No.
I'm sure they are. And when I say they, I'm talking about my family, not Mexicans. My Mexican family.
My family likes.
Whatever. I don't care. I
My
don't need.
family likes to drink too.
I don't need to. I'm not going to justify myself here.
No.
I'm not one of those people that has to justify every single thing I say.
You come out on Twitter. It's like I don't even have a Twitter.
Yeah.
Like,
If you guys don't like it, I'm sorry. You don't have to watch.
Right.
So what they do is they don't just have a recycling can. They have a whole. What do you call the big ones? Just a dump.
like a bin. Like
yeah, a whole bin.
Yeah.
And it's not recycling. It's literally for beer cans. Like you just when you're drinking,
You just toss them in the.
and
thing.
I don't think they recycle like it's not like one of those like compost.
No.
Whatever. What's
Yeah.
the other one? Compost. The other C. Whatever. Compost something and then recycle. And it's like okay, the food goes in here. This one goes here. We got paper. It's like no. You got trash. Which is a smaller a smaller thing.
Yeah.
And then the whole like huge one that you put out for the dump trucks to take
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
just beer cans. You're drinking, crush the can, throw it in there.
Oh,
When
yeah.
that fills up, take it to the recycling center. This is just a long-winded way of saying, what if there's someone that has that for batteries? They just have a huge dumpster and they just start throwing batteries in there, and when it fills up, they take it to the electronic
There is
recycling
a-
center.
75% chance that person is a serial killer.
Even though they're the ones that's
Doing something
being good
right
for the
or
environment.
whatever, yeah.
They're the crazy. They're the bad people.
Hot take here. I think the environment
Hot
crap
take.
is a little bit overrated. I think it's stupid. I think it's a waste of time. Just saying. Although, yes, you might say I'm a hypocrite because I do have a blue can back there for recycling. I do. I've got a trash can and I've got a recycling bin. It makes me sick that I think that I have that.
You know what makes me sick?
Hmm.
Because unfortunately,
It's not on my own accord, by the way.
Unfortunately, I don't recycle. Sometimes, because I don't always think about it,
Yeah.
Like, if we're drinking, I do use it mostly because of convenience.
Oh, it's super convenient.
Because your trash can,
Is
your
it?
your regular one has a lid on it.
lid.
The recycle one's just a bin.
Yeah.
And it's against the wall, so you got to go backward.
What does it say about me that I fill up my recycling bin way faster than I do my trash can?
You're one of those Mexican alcoholics I was talking about. You need the big one that I was talking about. But no, there's the thing that makes me sick is there's times when I'll come over and I'll have something I guess that I probably should put in the recycle and I don't when it's not a can or whatever, and I'll just throw it in your regular trash. And then in the morning when you're cleaning everything up, you open up your trash can and you'll take some of that out and
What?
put it in the recycle. I've seen you do this
Are you
before.
serious?
I've seen you do this. Yeah. You'll take some stuff out and put it in the recycling one, and I'm like,
I think
he's-
I have an idea why. To fill up that one quicker because it's just easier to take out. If you think about it, it is. Because the other one has the trash bag in it. You gotta take the bag, you gotta wrap it up, you gotta tie it, take it out, and then replace the bag. If I just put all that crap into the recycling thing, some people are just going nuts, I'm sure. If I just take all that crap and put it in the open one, I can just take it out there, dump it out, rinse it out.
Because you don't have a bag in there.
Thing. And I gotta be honest, the only reason that thing is still there is just because it's more room. There's just more. There's just more.
Well, it is. It's kind of useful because
It's kind of useful.
We drink a lot.
Because
or
Luca was
whatever.
my roommate at the time.
Yeah.
He was the one that bought it. Like I went out and I bought a trash can and dish stuff and like that, and I was good. I don't know this whole concept of recycling from Oklahoma, and like, and all of a sudden one day I see this big old blue trash can. I was like, hey, I already got a trash can. It's right next to the one you got. And he's like, oh no, recycling. And
So that's something from Luca that
Yeah.
you still haven't gotten
But
rid
it
of.
just stuck
Even though
around.
he moved out of here.
Yeah, a long time ago.
I was going to say months ago, but I guess it's been
No,
over a
it's
year
been
now.
like, yeah. And he was like, "Oh no, it's recycling." And he turns it around, and it's got the big recycling logo on the side. And I was just like, "That's so stupid."
What he should have done is put a fat beer can sticker on there. Then you would have got.
I would have went for that. I thought it was so dumb, but now I still have
You know
it.
what?
So
You know what turned me off to recycling is I tried it when I first moved into the house I'm in now. I was like, I'm living on my own. I'm in a house. I'm gonna do this recycling thing. I'm gonna try it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be a good person. I'm gonna go down to because the recycling center is at the
it was Rouse at the time. They had
the one by my house is Goodwin's, the store right now.
I thought you meant way back.
No, I'm talking about when I got the house.
Oh, okay.
Not the apartment.
Okay.
Nah, I wasn't worried about it, the apartment. Kidding me? Have you been out there?
Have you been to Bandanas?
Recycling's not going to help that place at all. No, once I moved into the house I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Like the house. The recycling center is like less than a 5-minute drive, and I was like, I'll try this out. I'll do it. Obviously, I don't know.
Do you have enough in the
I'm
tank?
losing my brain. Oh god.
Oh no!
Let's
Not as soon as you say I'm losing my brain.
I'm trying to like form a sentence, and I'm just like stumbling over myself.
Steve, you make some good beer.
Let's see your basketball shorts. Go ahead.
No.
Show the world. Wait, what is this? Is this 4.8?
Oh, I didn't even. Is it?
C. Miller's 4.2. This is 0.6 more than I'm used to. And it's also
You know-
taller.
California, I was promised 6-point beer because that's what we always said in Oklahoma. Because we always had, for the history of Oklahoma, we had 3-point beer. And so,
They have it. You just don't buy it.
what do you mean?
They got 6-point beer. They got
Oh.
8-point beer.
No, but this is technically what we would call 6-point beer. We'd round it up. So, like,
That's not even rounding up. You're just adding a bunch of numbers to it.
no, like, so in Oklahoma it was 3-point beer. So it's like 2 beers to equal 1 California beer, which really tricks people out when you go back to Oklahoma. But so that was what everyone out there had forever, and because you weren't allowed to have 6-point, that was you either had to cross the border to Texas or some other state. Texas was the closest. But then I moved out to California, and I had always heard they had 6-point beer. So I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's like what beer's supposed to be, or whatever. And then I start looking closely, and it says like 5.3, 5
Yeah.
point whatever. I'm like, that's not 6-point beer. It is, but, you know.
There are beers that are 6-point and more, but it's just not the
Yeah.
beers that we drink.
But no, it was like, that's what we called like the regular domestic beer, was like 6-point beer.
Yeah.
You know, and so people would go to Texas and drive back to Oklahoma with their cases of beer. Like, that's a thing that people
I do that now living in California just to get some Miller Lite.
You drive to Texas, get your Miller Lite.
Yeah,
come
because I
back.
can't find it anywhere. Speaking of that leads into my last subject, but I got to finish this recycling thing first.
Oh.
So I was going to try to get into recycling, and for a few weeks, I was like, and when I say recycling, I mean, I was planning to do like real recycling, do the paper and cart, but it really just ended up being a bunch of bags of beer cans.
Cans, yeah.
But like my downstairs was just getting filled with just trash bags of beer cans.
I remember that.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
remember
I
that.
just had
Yeah,
bags. They were just in the way.
Yeah.
It just looked nasty.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
finally, I was like, I think I have enough to take to the recycling center. And this is after like a couple months
Yeah.
of just having a bunch of trash bags downstairs. Take it to the recycling center, get like $5. I'm like, this is not worth the trouble.
No.
And worth all
No.
it's taking up all this space. It starts smelling like stale beer downstairs.
Yeah, it
it
does.
smells like it smells like those gross bars we play in Hollywood, where it's just like it smells like rock and brews at LAX.
I was just about to say that.
you could see mold growing out of the trash bags. Like, it's not worth $5. I mean, come on.
You get sick every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't know if they care about recycling up in Crestline where I'm at, because there's times when. So the way the trash works at at where I'm at is the trash truck comes at like some ridiculous hour in the morning, like 5 in the morning or something like that.
Jesus.
Sometimes we forget to take the trash out. It happens, you know. I don't realize it's Friday, or I don't realize it's Thursday night, and I got to take the trash out. And so I just forget, and it's like I go outside, and when Kat's going off to work, I'm like, oh, we forgot to take the freaking trash out. Sometimes I don't know how this works. I don't know if they have like some different system, but sometimes I guess the recycling people come by and see that we didn't put the trash cans out, and they'll just empty it. I don't.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's like another. At least that's what Kat told me. She's like, oh, the recycling people took it, and I'm like, but none of that was recycled.
It's like in
So
the same container, or
Yeah, so I don't know.
or they put it in the cab of the truck.
Yeah, like this happened. I think last weekend. We forgot to take the trash cans out, and they were full when I went. Oh, I was leaving for the day. I had to take my kids to the doctor and all that stuff. So I went downstairs. It was like 10 in the morning, so it was like way past the trash time.
Yeah.
And all the trashes were full. They were like back against the stair, and it was like, oh, we didn't pull them out. And I was gone all day. Came back home. The trash cans were empty. And I was like, so I don't know if they have another trash truck that sometimes is nice and it's like, oh, I see, they forgot to pull their things out. But according to Kat, I guess the recycling people take them.
Yeah.
And that's not recycling.
And it was super weird.
We got like food and stuff in there.
It was super weird. I woke up, I walked into the kitchen, and this city worker was just like tying up our trash bags.
Who walks into your house? Yeah. Yeah, they just walk. They have keys to everyone's house in the neighborhood. They just
like
walk
the mailman that has the key to everyone's. Yeah.
Anyway, last subject. And then we got to get to the Stone Cold thing. I don't know how long we've been going. But, well, you were supposed to go when I was talking about recycling.
I thought you needed me to bounce off of.
I do when I'm not
Talk
talking.
about breaking the fourth wall there.
Oh my god.
No, that's alright.
What I need you to do is hold your piss when we're doing cold ones and not leave until the end of the show. So we know how it's been a problem. All right, calm down, Roxbury. We know how it's been a problem. As I just mentioned, how I have to drive to Texas to get my Miller Lite, and it's been a problem trying to find Miller anywhere in California. Today, not longer than 2.5 hours ago, on my way over here, I was driving, having a happy time, cruising down the highway, about to pass the Miller Lite factory, which I always love passing by. You know, it gives me a sense of security. It makes
I feel at home.
makes my heart warm. I feel at home.
Makes
My loins swell. This volley of euphoria. And you will not believe what I saw.
Under new ownership, no?
No, well, maybe. Kind of in that direction.
A Corona sign?
I was driving. Well, the Miller sign was still there.
Uh-huh.
But, so you know how they have the huge.
Sign on the right side?
Well, no. They have the huge, like, cans that they
Those
dressed
big
as
tanks, yeah.
Miller cans.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to sneak this in. I was driving. The first one, PBR. PBR can.
That's how it starts.
Yep. And remember,
And those are the ones that bought it.
yeah, I was going to say, remember we were talking about a few years ago, that place was supposed to completely shut down.
Yeah.
There was rumors that even though PBR is like owned by the same company, so it's a weird thing. I don't know the logistics behind it, but the rumors were that PBR was buying out the factory and they were going to still brew Miller out of there, but it was going to be a PBR place.
Yeah.
And then that just vanished. Hadn't heard anything. Miller still was there, and it's been like 3 or 4 years since then. Haven't heard anything since then. And I was just driving by today. One PBR can. I'm like, oh, I know what you guys are doing, and I do not like it. I am not
Because
happy.
they could have done that one day.
Yeah,
Like-
or they could have just done all of them. And they're like, hey, we're
Yeah.
PBR now. We're all PBR cans.
Get over it.
They just did the very left one. It's like, because they're thinking you're just driving, and when you're used to it, you know it's there. Of
Yeah.
course, you're gonna look over if you're a Miller fan. You're gonna
Yeah,
look over and be
yeah.
like, "That's my place." And it's kind of similar colors because Miller's white now.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
similar.
it's
It is
mostly
close,
white.
yeah.
It's got actually it looks
It's-
close,
I was
it looks
just-
closer to
I
this.
was just about
It's
to
got the
say
red
that,
and blue, but
Yeah, maybe they should put this on there.
yeah, I wouldn't be as mad. I was just driving and I was looking over and I was like, "You freaking! I know what you're doing."
Yeah.
And I know the next time I drive by, there's gonna be 2 PBR cans.
Yes.
Yeah. Next time I drive by, it's gonna be 3 PBRs.
What? Yeah.
4 PBRs. 5 PBRs. The Miller sign's gonna be down. It's gonna be all PBRs. I don't know how many are up there. Otherwise, I would have kept going. I would have done the Bill Burr thing and did every. I would have done every single number. I just don't know. I don't count them usually, so I don't know. But yeah. So I'm a little worried about that. Kind of upset.
Dang.
Because that also now makes me feel like there's gonna be even less Miller than there already is.
Man, that's just like that's how they get you. They go one at a time. It's like 14 days to slow the spread. That's just all like just a little bit.
Next thing you know, you're 3.5 years into it, and still trying to figure it out. What was the thing you called it when we were in Texas and you were getting Colton a beer? Didn't you ask for like a blue PBR or something like that? And what'd you say?
I felt like such an idiot. I probably looked like I can't. No wonder they asked for my ID. I went up to because we were backstage, and I wanted to make sure because I had it planned perfectly. Because everyone had their drinks, but I wanted one more drink and then the stage drinks, right? So the one more drink was just going to be backstage, and everyone was almost done with their drinks. So I was like, all right, I don't need to ask you. I already know. I'm gonna get the Budweiser and then I Colton. I was like, what are you drinking there? And he was doing the Lone Star.
Yeah, that's Cold One's catchphrase. What are you drinking?
What are you drinking? Hey, that's nice. And so I asked him, I was like, what are you drinking? And he's like, oh, I got the Lone Star, which I think we talked about on the last episode a little bit. Yeah. So there's 2 different types of Lone Star. There's red and blue. Red is like the Budweiser, and the blue is like the Bud Light. It's their light and regular. Well, he had the blue Lone Star, and so I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll go get us some drinks. I'll go get us a round of drinks. And I went up there, and I was like, yeah, could I get a Miller Lite? Could I get a Budweiser? And then could I get a blue PBR?
But that was a different
That was a different kind of one.
That was like, what?
What? Yeah, I asked for a blue PBR, and he's like,
which it's even funnier if you know that PBR stands for Pabst
blue ribbon.
It stands for Pabst Blue Ribbon. So it's like, can I get a blue Pabst Blue Ribbon?
And he goes, yeah, man.
That was funny.
And so but then the thing was, he gave me the other beers, and then the last one he gave me was this blue PBR, regular PBR. He gave me the PBR, and I almost said, like, oh no. And then I stopped myself. I was like, oh, like, you idiot.
Oh, no.
I see what I did. Because at first I thought he just gave me the wrong beer. And then it was like, oh, no, I said blue PBR, didn't I? And I couldn't even look the dude like, oh, it was terrible. And then
Hang your head in sorrow.
So I go back to Colton. I was like, well, I went backstage and handed Jake his Miller. Tapped Colton. I was like, hey, I got you a blue PBR.
And then, on top of that, we were supposed to get another round when we were on stage. I don't remember if you got that or someone in the crowd got it.
Justice bought him.
And Mark held on to my beer for about 3/4 of the set.
Dude,
I finished the beer he got us backstage. I brought it on with me, but I didn't finish it because we were just in a hurry. We were trying to get up there. And I finished it probably after the first or second song. And then I was like,
beer me.
after a while, I was getting parched. I was like, I need something to drink. I got nothing. And then there's a time where he came back and looked at me. I was like, oh, I need some beer, man. And then I think he might have told Justice, like, hey, can you get us some beers? And she got around for everyone. I didn't get it till like the last song or second to last song.
Oh my god! So
it was just on the stage in front of you the whole time.
So we got on stage and I thought we all had our stage beers, but I had my stage beer and that was about it. And then maybe after it was after the second song. She was maybe second row, first row, second row, something like. And she was in the
she
front.
was second row because Emery.
Yeah, because Emery was in the front. I was gonna say that.
Took her spot.
Emery was in the front, but yeah. So Justice was in the front up there, and I was like, we finished the second song. I was like, hey, do you think you can grab a couple beers for Jake? Yeah. And she's like, yeah.
She didn't have to ask what I was drinking.
Yeah, she already knew. Yeah. And
she just went to the bartender and was like, give me the best beer you got in the place.
And so she handed a Budweiser, and she said, no, not that good. And she came back with the Miller Lights, and we were still playing, so she just set them next to the monitors. And I was like, oh, great, okay. Because there's a break after this song. Boom! Hit that last note. Nothing. Nope. I just looking at the crowd, throwing some guitar picks, stuff like that. And I should have...
I'll get that.
I should have felt your stare. Like, I should have felt your glare, you know? But then, during that song, we went ahead and started the next song. And then she just kind of... I looked at her, and she kind of gave me that look like... like, okay? And then I was like, crap, okay. The next song. And then after the next song, there was some interaction, and I was like, whatever. And then we started the next song, and then I turned to you, I was like, oh, my bad. And you were like, dude!
And he didn't even forgetting, that's fine, you forgot the beers were there or whatever. He didn't even think to share your beer with me.
No.
I told you, I'm like, I'm thirsty, I'm parched, I need something. He's just looking over at me like, this is fun, huh? That's great. For a little bit though, I didn't know that. Because I saw you go over. I figured you asked her because we're playing on stage. You can't go off and buy me a beer. I figured you asked her to get one. That's true, and which we did, and I still didn't get my beer yet. Yeah. But so I was like, okay, cool, and sure go for it. And I kind of figured. I just thought it was taken. The place was so jam packed. We were so. Oh yeah, he just wanted to show Darth Vader. That's what it is. It was so jam packed. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people there, but I just figured that I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, I think it's just taken that long to get us a beer because I didn't see her come back, and I didn't see them on the front of the stage. Because you might know, like being a drummer, a lot of times it's hard to see more than 5 feet in front of you. You got the band in front of you, the lights blaring in your face. I was actually able to see the crowd pretty decently this time, but a lot of times, depending where you're playing at, it's just very dark in the crowd. You can't really see anybody. Sometimes you can't even see the front of the stage. But so I didn't see anything there. I didn't know where she was standing exactly. I didn't see her leave. And I was just like, man, it's taking a long time to get these beers. And so yeah, we played through basically the whole show, I think. I eventually got one at some point, but it took a really long time. And man, that was a good time though. It was a good show. I had plenty of beers afterwards, so I made up for it for sure. And it was great because I slept in until basically had to leave the next day until we had to check out. I don't think I woke up the next day, or I woke up a few times, but I don't think I got out of bed till like 1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh my god, are you talking about the Sunday or whatever after the show?
The day after.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, we already talked about Texas when it happened. So let's get now that we're like over an hour into this episode, let's get to
we ramble when we like
the real topic of today.
Oh, come on.
Oh, wait. I did forget to mention one thing. We started it and we didn't finish it. So we had the episode. We're never going to get to Stone Cold. We'll do it next week.
Oh, I forgot. Go ahead.
So we had the episode when we did the White Leather music video commentary. And Mark decided that he was angry and he broke his computer, threw it out, and then we went on this whole recycling tangent. He threw his computer out and was like, oh, I might need this. And then, cold ones came, so he took it out. And he was telling me for weeks now, because that was like maybe a month ago, he was telling me how his computer it works, but it's kind of broke. It's messed up. He's like, there's like dots all over the screen. I see 2 mice on there. It just clicks by itself. The trackpad doesn't work. It's a mess. There's like cracks everywhere. He's like, I just need to get a new computer. So fast forward to today. As we've talked about, Mark is very technologically declined.
Yes.
And I'm very technologically enhanced. It just kind of works that way.
Ladies.
Yeah. Aside from today, because since I'm at Mark's place, a lot of times that kind of sets me down, and we have issues all the time when I'm here. But we got it working, I think. I don't know. I'll have to watch the replay. Maybe it's not working at all, and
maybe
this
you
whole
can't
thing
hear
sucks.
us at all.
It's probably not. It's probably just watching us do this.
That'd be great.
And people commenting are just like, this is kind of weird, but whatever. I'll watch it, I guess.
It's a mind show.
And anyway, so I was trying to get everything to work because we're using his computer right now. So I was trying to get everything to work, and I was just having some issues because it's Mark's computer. And I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. So I was like, Mark, I'm gonna reset your computer. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna make this work. Reset it. Thing turns on. I think the thing is I put in your passcode, not you. Because when I got here, you put in your passcode, and I was having issues.
Yeah.
I reset it. I was like, hey, can you put in your passcode? He told me what it was. I typed it in, hit enter. The thing loaded up. All of the dots in the second mouse is gone. The trackpad's working.
That is nuts.
I'm clicking on the apps that weren't working. Everything's it's as far as I know up to this point has run completely smooth. Normal. I can't even see the cracks. I'm sure those are still there. I'd be surprised if those are gone.
Dude, if you actually fixed that'd be amazing.
The physical cracks, I can't see them from here, but I'm also kind of blind. I'm sure if I'm up close, okay, I'll see them.
I'm looking right now.
Right now, it looks like a brand new computer to me. Everything, I see things moving. It looks like it's running. I see the singular mouse. Nothing's clicking by itself. The trackpad's moving when I do this. The W works when I hit that button. And I just thought it was the funniest thing because it's just because
that's prime example of stuff that has happened before.
Yeah, it's like the time when it happened with your PlayStation when you couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi.
You were like, oh, you're putting in the wrong code. I'm like, no, I'm not.
He tried like 6 times. And at this point, I was living 5 feet from you.
And what did you say? You were like, oh, you were putting in the right.
Well, because first you called me.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of funny because you were 5 feet from me. You couldn't knock on the door. But, I get it. You didn't want to bug me just to go on your PlayStation. And so you called me, and I was like, just do this. He's like, I'm doing it. It's not working. And I was like, you got to be doing something wrong. He's like, I've done it like 5 times. It's not working. I came over, looked at the code on the thing, watched him put in the code.
We even did the why.
Yeah.
Two.
I think we did it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And every time he'd hit it, it'd load for like a minute and be like, cannot connect.
And even you said, oh, that is weird.
Yeah, I was like, and I was like, I don't know why. I was just like, it's gonna work if I do it. But I was like, here, let me try. And I looked at the thing, I typed it in, hit start, and it immediately says connected. Thank you. And I was like, that's all you gotta do, Mark.
All you gotta do is be me.
So I told him, I was like, your computer works great. I'm sure as soon as I leave, it's gonna not work anymore.
Dude, yeah,
it's working great today.
Yeah, that's why I hid your car keys.
I can't leave it anymore. Anyway, we got to get to this. Stone Cold Ones with Leather Duchess. I almost feel like we should do the intro again because we just did a whole episode.
I got it.
Oh, well, now we're gonna get we're gonna get blocked.
No. I'll change it ever so.
See, I originally was gonna, I wanted to combine our theme songs in a way where it's like us. I was gonna start it with the glass breaking. I need some glass bottles.
I forgot I was in drop D.
That's fine. That means it's far enough away. Hopefully, it won't be trash. Originally, I wanted to combine our theme songs. I was gonna start instead of with the beer can opening, do the beer smash or the glass smash.
Yeah.
And then kind of have our theme song, mixed with his, and I was gonna do something, but I was like, "There's no way we could do that, and it's not just gonna get pulled down and copyright."
I really
strikes and all
hope
this
that
stuff.
didn't. I don't think it was close enough.
It was a different key. I think he played it different.
Yeah.
If it does, I'll cut it out.
And it's a Firebird. He didn't use a Firebird.
He didn't use a Firebird.
Stone Cold doesn't play a Firebird.
He used some yeah, because they all play their own theme songs. But yeah, I was like, yeah, it can't. They're one of those people too that's going to be like really strict about this stuff. So I just threw the logo and the glass smash, which also is not his glass smash. I just picked a glass smash that sounded similar because I just wanted nothing to do with the real one. I was like, I don't know if they'll even hear that. And even though I used the logo, so if they see that, you can't hear the logo, but you can see if someone sees it.
Yep, then we're done.
We might be screwed.
Then it was nice knowing everybody.
But
Cold Ones is no more.
I guess since we basically did a whole episode, let me reintroduce. Hey, welcome to Stone Cold Ones with Letter Duchess. The rest of this episode.
What are you drinking? No.
Yeah, well, could have done that. I'm almost done with this one. I could do it. The rest of the episode is going to be about Stone Cold or wrestling.
Wrestling memories.
And I'm going to rely heavily on Mark to lead this portion. So hopefully you could carry. Otherwise, this portion. We're going to call this whole thing Stone Cold Ones, and we'll talk about it for like 5 minutes.
For nothing, yeah. No, I don't know.
So what do you got?
Well, all right. So it was back in 1863. Stone Cold was born. I am so glad we have that.
I feel like it's so overused.
Dude, you know what the episode mostly
People
is?
Are going to be annoyed by it.
The audio mostly is... Oh.
Yeah, these are very creaky chairs. I also enjoy how I just mentioned how I'm going to use nothing to do with WWE and I rip it out from the WWE file.
Yeah.
So, I guess...
We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But no, when was the first... Okay, so... There's obviously a history of Stone Cold.
1996, King of the Ring.
Yeah. So there's a whole history before the whole Attitude Era thing. Like, he was Stunning Steve, first with the long blonde hair.
Yeah.
He was...
Hair.
He had hair. And then there was the Ringmaster, stuff like that.
Tag team with what was his name? I just... had it in my head now.
Oh yeah, he had a tag team partner. I can't think of it.
I think it was something Pillman. I think.
Yeah.
He ended up joining the Hart Foundation, and Stone Cold was rivals with him for a long time. I can't remember his name, but he looked really cool.
He would say that he had like no direction. He was like, they had nothing for me, and all this stuff. They had like creative had nothing for him, and then. They're like, well, we'll push you anyways or whatever. And he won the King of the Ring, and that's when he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome 316 says I just
That's one thing I love so much about his whole career is whether it was scripted or not. I don't know how much of his promos were
on the fly.
But it felt like everything he did was just very improv.
He's actually gone back and he said no, all that stuff was just...
It really feels like, and because there's sometimes where he kind of stumbles over his words or kind of stutters.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's just his wrestling in general. Like a lot of times when he's walking, like doing his aggressive walk on, like it's almost like he's tripping on his own feet, and he's like very clumsy in a way, but where it comes off really cool.
Yeah, well,
not like clumsy.
He's not like he's not like one of those. He's obviously not a high flyer. None of that stuff. He's just in there to hurt you.
Yeah.
Drink beer and hurt you.
You know the whole King of the Ring thing was very kind of lucky and circumstantial for him because that was the only reason that happened was the whole curtain call thing with
with the click.
Yeah, because originally Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he wasn't Triple H yet. Hunter Hearst Helmsley was supposed to win that, but for a punishment because they did who was it? Steve Nash and
Kevin Nash.
Yeah, Kevin. I don't know why I always think Steve. Kevin Nash and who's the other guy?
Scott Hall.
That's
sorry to interrupt you, but we're gonna have to open up a new one in honor of Scott Hall, who just passed away about 2 days ago. So
Wait. I gotta finish this one first.
okay.
Did you finish yours?
No. Yeah. Nope.
Oh, we're just
I
gonna
will.
open. Okay.
No, I will. But Scott Hall, man.
Well, no, I want to open one. I didn't know how to finish mine real quick.
Yeah. Well. I will.
Okay. Cheers.
That one was for us. This one's for Scott Hall. Legend. The bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
The bad guy.
So, what happened for those unfamiliar with the wrestling? That looks like I do know some stuff. I don't know everyone's name, but you got me there. So
That's
this
funny.
year, the popular wrestler known as Triple H, who I think owns the whole thing now, right?
No, but he's
Or-
up there. He's yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he
Uh,
will.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Vince is looking bad. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
the past,
dude.
Like 4 years.
Dude, he
but he
looks
looks
old.
horrible. Anyway, so it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and then Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and at the time Triple H was Hunter Hearst Helmsley
Yeah.
still. He wasn't Triple H yet, but they were all really good friends. But they were, what was it? Triple H and Shawn Michaels were. They were babyface.
Yeah, they were babies.
And Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were heels.
Yeah.
And back then, they were very strict on not breaking character, and even like outside the ring, you're not supposed.
yeah.
Like even in interviews, you
don't
gotta be in
even travel
character.
together.
Yeah, you can't. You gotta be in character in interviews, like on TV and stuff.
There's the good guy bus and there's the bad guy bus.
If, of course, like social media wasn't a thing back then, but if Twitter and all that was a thing back then, you couldn't even just like tweet like "Happy birthday to my bud Scott."
No.
You gotta, if you tweet something and you're a heel, you gotta be a jerk when you
Yep.
tweet. And you, I don't know why I'm using tweet.
well, no, but like if it were today, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know why I'm saying tweet as an example, but basically, it just in the public's eye, you got to be your character.
Yeah.
And so what happened was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were leaving WWF,
Mm-hmm.
and were they going to like
WCW.
WCW? Yeah. And so they had their last, I think it was a tag team match, right?
It
It was Shawn Michaels,
yeah.
Triple H against Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. They had this big like kind of, this is our last match in WWF, whatever. They had their thing, and they had like a feud on the storyline and all that stuff. But at the end of the match, or at the end of the night, I don't know if it was like right after the match, but whatever it was, the four of them came out to the middle of the ring, and they all kind of hugged it out, and kind of say, miss you, because they were all really good friends backstage, and
They call it the curtain call.
they called it the curtain call, and Vince McMahon did not like that one bit,
No.
and so for some reason, Triple H was the only one that got punished. Shawn Michaels didn't get any punishment at all.
I didn't know that.
I think he was maybe too popular. Because he was like the main guy back then. He was the pretty boy.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
the heartbreak
You
kid.
can't hurt.
He was Ben
Shawn
Stiller.
Michaels back then. He was Ben Stiller back then.
The heartbreak kid.
Oh, that's right. I just watched that not too long ago.
Yeah, I don't know if he was just too popular or what. Because Triple H wasn't that popular back then.
No.
I think this was supposed to be his like, we're gonna finally put, because he's been with them for so long at this point, and hadn't really had much opportunities, and he was a good wrestler and stuff. I think this was like, okay, we're finally gonna give you the chance, and we're gonna push you and make you a popular guy.
Yeah.
And but they did this curtain call thing. Shawn Michaels was already this big guy, so they couldn't do anything to him. And they're like, all right, because of that, we didn't like that. Obviously they can't punish the other guys. They're leaving.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not gonna win King of the Ring. We're gonna give it to this nobody that nobody, like none of the fans really know.
This
No one really cares
nobody.
about. This nobody. What? So they're like, I guess I don't know why they picked Steve Austin. They had other people they could have picked, but they picked him for.
And at the time, he wasn't doing anything like that was like catching. And he said it too. He was saying like, they've got nothing for me. He's like,
Yeah.
this sucks.
He wasn't the bad boy rattlesnake yet.
No.
He didn't have any lines or catchphrases or
No.
any of that stuff. He was just a guy. He was just, I don't even know if he was Stone Cold yet. I think it was just Steve Austin.
He was just Steve Austin.
And no one really knew who he was. He was I mean, he's been with them for a little bit at this point.
But he was also in WCW.
Yeah, but like you were saying, that was like under different names and whatever. But
yeah.
He was kind of like freshly new as Steve Austin, but he hadn't done anything really that significant. He never had any promos or like said anything. There was nothing that was like, oh, that guy's gonna be
I
big.
wish we had the Dry County queued up. That would be amazing. That Dry County promo.
Oh yeah.
Roll up into a Dry County. But
is that the one where it's talking about Booker T and?
No, it's just where like they go into a town that doesn't sell alcohol, and he's like, I got nervous, I got scared, I started to itch. He's like,
I think that was with Booker.
So I took Deborah. No one got some beer, some whiskey, some vodka, more whiskey. Anyways,
but for whatever reason, they decided to pick him. And his match was against Jake the Snake Roberts, right? I believe so.
I think so, maybe.
Was he the? Because he said something about.
You're better at the older stuff than I am.
Because he said something about like Bible in the 316 speech was something about Bible. Was he one of the religious guys? Because he's talking about like Bible thumping. So, yeah, I believe it was against Jake the Snake Roberts, and he won King of the Ring. So whoever wins does like the big speech. And I think this was, I could be wrong, but I think this was like one of his first times like on the mic. And
when he was the ringmaster with Ted DiBiase, when he was holding the big $1 million belt, he didn't really talk.
Yeah, I think he obviously with all the different name changes, I think he hadn't really found his character yet. But so he won this match, which is obviously for him at this time a huge opportunity.
Huge, yeah.
Like no one knows who he is, and this is I think before WrestleMania existed. No, it was a little after, but
around since the 80s.
But it's still a big. King of the Ring's a big show.
King of the Ring's big.
And so they're like, ask him whatever regular, how do you feel? You won whatever. And so he does this whole speech about Jake the Snake Roberts, you're Bible thumping, praying to God about winning this, and John is talking, and this is where Austin 316 came up, which is why we celebrate Austin 316 Day, which is why this beer came out on 316, because this speech is the one that really kind of blew him up in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a bunch of other stuff that made him who he is, but this is the first thing that was like, oh my god, this is cool.
It's not the most iconic moment, but it's the start of all those.
It might be one of them.
It's one of them for sure.
It might be the most iconic.
It's pretty up there.
But he has a lot that is close or would tie with it. But so he's talking about because I guess Jake the Snake was like a religious guy, and so I think he's kind of talking about people are praying, oh God, be on my side, whatever, and he's talking about you're thumping. I always remember the thump in the Bible is one of the lines, and talking about your John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. And that was the line. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. That just got the crowd like, and I was like, that was so cool, especially for a dude no one knows.
Oh yeah.
That's just that good at smack talking on the mic.
Did not say.
They did not say what. And from that day on, they sold the
merch
hell out of Austin 3:16.
Yeah.
Something that he has no rights to at all. Because, under contract with WWF, you can't do anything with whatever you say on the mic, on the show. That's all Vince McMahon and all those, whoever is in charge of that stuff. But what an iconic line.
Yeah, dude. You know what's crazy is, but I was too young to remember. Like, I don't remember it. But my very first wrestling live show I ever went to, and I am proud to say was during the Attitude Era. It was like 1999, which to me is prime wrestling.
I was late. I was like early 2000s.
Well, that was when I remember it. But like, I'm very happy to know that my very first like wrestling was in the Attitude Era. We're talking like Undertaker versus Kane, like
Good
when they
times.
were like just getting started together, you know, and all that stuff. We were in the Stevie Wonder section. I mean, you just can't see anything. Like way back there, and I just my memory, I was so young, but what I remember is a red light coming out and a blue light coming out,
and then lightsabers.
And then lightsabers. No, you know, so that was cool. And I remember waiting to get into X-Pot was like running through the crowd, like pushing everyone out of the way, trying to get through or whatever. He's like looked like he was running late or something like that. I remember that. Kane versus Undertaker, because they were my favorites at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it pains me to say, I don't remember seeing Stone Cold, but I know he came out because my mom was like, "Oh yeah, he went to the corners and raised the middle fingers and all that stuff," and you know, and so I know he was there. It's just like it bothers me so much that I wasn't old enough to like. Maybe I was old enough. It's just so long ago. I don't remember it that well, and I remember being there. You know, like
yeah.
I remember being there in certain parts.
Maybe you just weren't old enough to really be a Stone Cold fan.
But I don't remember Kane and Undertaker's match. I remember the blue light coming out, and I remember the red light coming out.
So you remember the stage show. You just don't.
You don't remember the performance. Go back to other conversations we've had.
You're like, I remember what pyro they did here and there. They had this lighting rig over here. They had this. There was like this really cool zip line rig over here. I don't remember a damn thing about any of the matches.
Yeah.
But I could recreate the whole entire setup.
And you know what drove me nuts is, and I'll still ask you to see if you can look for it eventually and find it, because you're better at that than I am. But I've searched high and low for that match card for that night. Like, I've looked everywhere. All I know is it's Oklahoma City, 1999. That's all I know.
If you asked for it before WWE went to Peacock, I probably could have found it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I could try now. I don't know.
But I figure
it might pop up
if
eventually.
Anybody could find it, it would be you.
Maybe, yeah.
To find it. And I think I found it one time, and I'm not sure. But if it was, that night was like The Rock in a fatal four-way with, it was like The Rock, Stone Cold, with Chris Benoit, and yeah, that doesn't age well. And
the Wolverine.
Like Shawn Michaels or something. Like, it was the guys. Like, it was those guys. Like, I just wish I had better memory of it. But sorry, I'm like totally taking over here. But
no, I was hoping you would, because like I said, I don't have much to say.
You fast forward to like 2003, is a whole different era. That was still technically, they called it Attitude Era, but it was like the end of it basically. Mm-hmm. And it was when Vince was trying to get everyone to kiss his butt. Do you remember that? Maybe not.
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. Like, that was his thing. He like literally, like, would. And so we were in Oklahoma City, and my big thing was the Hardys, because they were out. You know, when I first went, the Hardys weren't even a thing.
Hardys now in AEW.
That's right. We'll be there. And
oh yeah, the Forum.
Yeah. Or the other one. I don't care.
Ontario. Whatever.
And so this time I was full blown Hardy fan. So like, I'm there for them. My hair's colored. All that.
Full on Ed Hardy fan.
Ed Hardy.
He's wearing the Ed Hardy shirt with the hearts and the thorns.
I've got chandeliers on my pants.
Dressed like Bret Michaels.
Yeah,
up there.
Exactly. So we went, and then never mind. This story's completely irrelevant because it's The Undertaker, not Stone Cold. I was gonna say, I just because I got you started on it, was like they brought out Jim Ross. He's from Oklahoma.
I love JR. He's great.
Right? And so they got to bring him out in Oklahoma to borderline kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they got to...
Yeah, don't they always bring him in the ring
always
in Oklahoma?
Bring him just to beat him.
Yeah.
And they did that, and then they were already off the air. And then the... Keep rolling. Undertaker comes out. And he, like, you know, knocks them all out and saves them, you know, because the Undertaker's the savior for Oklahoma City that night. And anyways, it wasn't Stone Cold. So
What another
really meant
legend, though.
nothing.
If Undertaker had a day, I would celebrate him as well.
I would too.
He's another of my favorites.
He has a wine out.
Oh.
The Undertaker has a wine.
You don't really drink wine like cold though.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. But
Good.
wine's not fun on cold
No.
ones.
It'd be warm ones with leather Duchess.
Lukewarm, mediocre ones. Yeah, we'll think of a name. Maybe we'll do it one
Wait,
day.
you know who sold the stunner the best? Who do you think sold it the best?
Oh, like receiving it?
Yeah.
I would be sitting here too long thinking. You might as well just say it.
I would say The Rock.
Okay.
Have you ever seen him like do his like backflip? Like he'll take the stunner and then do all these weird, crazy flips, and, like over exaggerated, like
Yeah.
crazy.
Rock is great.
Yeah. Sorry, I just went on a whole memory lane thing there.
That's what I was counting on. Because like I said, I don't think I'll have a lot to say on the Stone Cold thing because I think I was a little bit young to remember that. Like I don't think I watched wrestling too much when he was wrestling, but I'm a huge fan. Seeing like looking back when I got a little older,
Yeah.
and then plus being a Miller Lite guy. I mean, come on.
That's your guy.
That's my guy. He's just a badass of wrestling. I feel like he really brought the whole Attitude Era to a whole different level.
He was the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might be the one that made that happen.
Yeah.
Because he was especially with all the improv and stuff, like his promos and stuff really brought that, no pun intended, but he brought that attitude to the whole thing of just like,
Well, everyone wanted to do what he did. Like, everyone wanted to tell their boss to screw off, like he did.
yeah.
And I think that's why people related to it so much, is because, like, you know, Vince was the boss, and he just gives him a stunner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's cool. And, like,
In a beer bath.
in a beer bath. And speaking of that stuff,
Smashed his car.
what about those moments? Those moments, like the monster truck, the cement truck in the Corvette, the
You know what we
beer truck.
should have done, or maybe not should have, because this setup isn't ideal. But if we had like not to play on screen because you know copyrights and stuff, but if we had like those top 10 Stone Cold moments,
Yeah.
and watch one of them and then talk about it, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I think we might know most of them at the top of our head.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Like, yeah, okay. So let's start at one of them.
Let's
One of
do
the
one.
big ones is driving the beer truck.
Beer truck is
Driving the beer
top of the
truck.
line right
Driving the
there.
beer truck into the arena. Miller Lite beer truck.
Miller
mind
Lite
you.
beer truck. I'll give you that.
And then, you know, McMahon's like telling him off, like, you can't do that. Where? And then I think The Rock is up there and
Yeah.
somebody else.
Mhm.
And he just grabs the hose.
The hose.
How does that work, by the
Yeah,
way? Is that a normal thing on a beer truck?
I will say, I never, and hey, Budweiser, if you're listening, I never had a hose attached to my beer truck.
Because I was wondering the exact same thing. I was like, this is cool. However,
However,
do beer trucks actually have a hose that shoots
Oh,
beer out
dude.
of it? Like,
you know how quickly I would have been fired if
they had it set up like a fire truck, except beer's coming out instead of water. Like,
exactly.
I feel like
Yo, dude.
let's get behind the scenes for a little bit here. What are the chances that was actually beer who was shooting at them?
No, it was. It was.
Do you think so?
Years and years and years later, after he's out of the business, he said it absolutely was beer. He said it was tapped into beer kegs that were on the truck.
That is wild. So I have two questions. One, well, actually, one of them you just answered. I was going to say, how did they do that? Two, is that something? Is that like a real thing, or is that something they made for that?
It had to be just.
Is that something they made just for
It
that?
had to just be made. I would imagine.
Like, I'm wondering if back then, if they actually had beer trucks that had, I don't know why they'd have this, but were there actually beer
put
trucks
out
that had a
fights.
beer hose?
You just put out fights like
People
that.
are fighting like, here's some free beer.
Yeah.
It's like those Red Bull girls, how they drive around in like bikinis in a Red Bull truck
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
just give you like free Red Bulls. They just got like someone driving around looking for bar fights. Like, hey, we got some free Miller Lite. Open up. It's like I've never seen that before. It was really cool
amazing.
for the show, but it was like, that's not a thing, is it? That's cool that it was real
Yeah,
weird.
no, it was real
Especially
weird.
because it doesn't need to be real
It
weird.
doesn't have to be, yeah.
When it's a show like that, it could have been water or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most iconic ones I can think of.
That's way up there. Mine is the Corvette thing. 'Cause one, I love Corvettes. That's my favorite car of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But Stone Cold just went in and destroyed one. So he came in with a cement truck,
Mm-hmm.
backed it up, lowered the freaking... Backed up. He lowered it. He pressed the release. And cement fell in.
Oh, I broke it.
Right into the Corvette. And so, but like, and he said all it was supposed to do was just fill up the Corvette. That was it. What he didn't anticipate is that it would fill up and bust all the glasses out and stuff like that. And I don't know, like, and he was like,
And that's where his theme song was created.
before that, he was telling the producers and stuff, he's like, hey man, so we're not actually going to fill this thing up with cement, right? Because he's a big car guy. He's like, because I was kind of hoping to
Take it home.
take this home.
Yeah.
He's like, it's my pay. Like, I kind of want to take this car. And they're like, oh no, you're like actually dumping cement into this car. So he did that, and then just like the reactions and all that stuff was just so cool. And then like when he took the monster truck out in the parking lot
Oh yeah.
and ran over the Rock's Cadillac or whatever.
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 cars parked out there. Just
Yeah.
ran them all over. Because wasn't that something like he was supposed to be injured or something?
Yeah.
And Vince is like, oh, he's not going to show up. He's nowhere to be seen or whatever. And there's like barricades up, and he just has this huge monster truck, drives over the barricades, smashes everyone's car, and drives up to the back doors or whatever, comes out, and he's like doing the Stone Cold stumble, I call it, walking over, and Vince has that like that scared face, that trademark scared face.
Yeah,
that was great,
dude. That was really good. I just like he was talking. I've heard him talk about all those vehicles and the Zamboni. So he did a Zamboni too, and it's just like
Miller Lite again.
He's so confident in this, and it makes sense. He's like, I can drive anything.
Keep going.
He was like, if you think about it, over time, I've driven all these crazy different vehicles, and he goes, I'm confident that I can drive anything I want. Oh, well, I need my 2 Budweisers.
No, because we're talking about Miller Lite.
Oh,
I gotta
get your product placement in.
I gotta do it, man.
And he was like, and he goes, I can drive anything in the world, and I can relate to that because I like that. I like that mindset where you're like, I can drive anything I want. Takes me a couple minutes.
Is that what?
I'll get it.
Is that what pushed you to become a truck driver?
No.
You'd be like,
it was money.
I've driven a car. I've driven a car. I've driven a motorcycle. I've driven, I imagine, a dirt bike. Maybe some type of aquatic vehicle.
Yep. A 4-wheeler.
But you know what I haven't driven is one of those.
I haven't driven.
One of those huge vehicles with 18 wheels on them. So I want to get that on my resume. So then you decided to get yourself a license.
That wasn't the reason. The reason was because they made more money.
But you are proud to have that on your resume of vehicles you've driven.
Yeah, of course. But I want to. This is maybe why I relate to Stone Cold saying that so much, is because I like that. I love the fact that I can drive whatever I want.
Have you flown anything before?
For like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. It wasn't much.
What does that mean?
An airplane. Small airplane.
But you were
Yeah.
without a co-pilot.
No, well, he was there.
But I mean, you were
No,
controlling.
it was just me for like a minute. I don't know what I'm doing.
Wait, you're alive.
But like,
Wait, how does that work in a small airplane? Oh,
it was like a propeller plane.
Because when you say small airplane, I'm thinking one of those
Like
where it's you and the guy behind you.
Yeah.
You're like you're like flying for 10 seconds. Like, I don't know how to land. You guys got to crawl over each other so he can.
This is the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah. You're like, all right, how do I get back there?
Wedge.
You got to land it.
Wedge. I can't shake him. No.
I'm being hit. I can't shake him.
So,
I think I need to get rid of that button.
you know that's staying for every episode from now on.
I'll have it up, but I'm not going to remind you.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know I'll forget.
Because I'm going to plan to not use it every episode. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to...
As long as it's just there.
Although we've overdone it already, but I don't want to overdo it in future episodes. And just one... Except you can't hear it, though. So how's that going to work?
I wouldn't be able to?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you don't have... Because you don't hear what the stream's putting out.
Oh, that's right.
So that wouldn't work.
All right.
Never mind.
Anyways.
You guys are lucky. We won't use it again. Yeah.
No, like I thought the CDL getting that was cool because it's like not every person in the world can do it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can. A lot of people can. And then like it felt really cool taking over the controls on the airplane. I was like, that's cool too. That feels awesome. But after stuff like that, I get what he's saying. He's like, I can drive whatever I want. It'll take me a minute. Like, give me a second. I'll learn it. And that's how I feel. Nothing in the world is that hard to learn. Like, I feel like if you just, I'm one of the people
Except
kind of
technology.
except computers. But I'm kind of like, I think you a little bit. Like, I think you could be that way a little bit too. Is like, just leave me alone for 10 minutes. Let me push every button. Let me mess with everything. Like, leave me alone for 10 minutes. I guarantee I can get it off the ground.
Yeah, I'm basically everything I know how to do. I'm self-taught because I'm not good with the typical schooling system of someone up there telling you what to do.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Like I wasn't great in school. Part of it because I was lazy and didn't want to do the homework. But I'm not a visual learner. I'm a hands-on guy.
Yeah.
So if there's something I want to learn and I put my mind to it, I could figure out whatever the hell like even this crap that we do, like,
Which blows my mind.
I figured it out on my own, and I was like, I want to know how to do this stuff, and I figured out this probably the way we do it isn't even the best way. I'm sure there's better ways, which I might find out eventually, and we'll switch to. But just right now, it's the way that I know of, and it works for me. And well, half the time it works for me, except when we try to do something different, like today. And I just do this stuff. I just teach myself. Like, well, like even I went to school for audio and Pro Tools and all that. And yes, I did learn some stuff, but a lot of it's I want to know I want to do something. Yeah, you figure out how to do this, how to do this. I want to know how to do something, especially with the internet and YouTube and stuff. Dude, you can learn anything yourself now. It's like I want to know how to freaking make the classic 80s sound on the snare. Yeah. I just look up online, how do you do the 80s reverse snare? And there's like 800 videos that show you how to do it. You just mess with it, do it like 15 times. And then when we come to record an album and we want to write a song like Fatal Moon, where I want to do that for the part coming in, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And I really hope that you guys are still watching this because that's one of the songs.
Well, we don't know now because your phone died.
Oh.
It just happened like right now.
But
anyway, back to Stone Cold.
But you know what? Stone Cold is a great inspiration for stuff like that because he is that normal dude that just he wants to do something, he's gonna do it.
You know what else is a great inspiration for? Drinking beer.
What?
Mm-hmm. Another great moment I think he's had, and I think this one goes sometimes a little under the radar. It's not like one of the ones that always pop up in people's minds, and something that you immediately think like, oh yeah, that was a great Stone Cold moment. Is going back to you talking about how you always want to tell off your boss and tell him to shove it and whatever. The one when Vince is in the hospital and then Stone Cold shows up. Was he dressed like in a nurse's outfit? Yeah. And then he just shows up and starts beating the crap out of him in the hospital bed.
Yep.
That one I think is
I feel like my mom can relate to that one. Like I feel like
does she do that to her clients?
Yeah. I feel like Stone Cold literally speaks to everybody.
Your mom, who's a nurse, wants to beat the crap out of all of her patients. Wants to give them all Stone Cold stoners. She has 2 beers hiding under her scrubs.
Yeah.
She'll pull them out and pour them in their face.
Yeah.
Take some herself and
give a stunner.
It's great.
It's inspiration for all.
Inspiration for all.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Stone Cold. What a dude. And what a beer.
What a beer.
Yeah. I gotta say I go out and find this. Seriously, this is good stuff.
You know, last week I was talking about I'm a little worried to try it. What if it replaces Miller Lite? I wouldn't go as far to say that.
No.
But I will go as far to say this is a really good beer.
It's very good, yeah. Very solid.
I can feel a pretty good buzz right now. I'm sure you could probably hear it in my speech. I've probably been kind of stuttering here and there, but
do you think you can go into the science of how buzzes work?
I'm sure I could figure it out.
All right.
There's a lot. Oh, you're talking about right now. I thought you were just talking about eventually. You know what? I'll go into the science. Well, okay, so this is a 4.8. I got my Miller Lite right here. First of all, this is like basically a tall boy, right? Or a tall can. So this is kind of like 2 of these. Miller Lite, I believe, is 4.2? 4.2 or 4.6? I think 4.2. I don't know. I'm not going to spend an hour looking for it. I'm going to say 4.2. This is 4.8. So if you put 2 of these together, it's about 2 Miller Lites. So I guess at this point I'm at like 5.5 beers. So I'm feeling pretty good. But yeah, I think it's a really good beer. I would put it up there in my top. I don't know what top. Like I don't know, top 5, top 8. Because I don't have a wide. I don't have like a wide palette of like. These are my top 5 beers. Like I don't have something like that.
This is what I do myself on you.
Yeah, for me, it's just like I want Miller Lite. If it's not there, I have alternatives, but they're not like my favorites. Whatever. I basically just go for whatever light beers you got. It's like, you know, I'll take a Coors Light because it's in the family. If you don't have that,
Buzz Light beer?
Maybe. I'll take a Coors Light because it's in the family. If you don't have that, I'll take a Bud Light, whatever. But I'll put this up. Speaking of all that, we're talking about drinking and I don't know. This popped in my head somewhere earlier. I don't remember where we were at with it, but it was something to do with when Budweiser came into the subject, and I'm going to Universal Studios this week because my dad decided, for whatever reason, he wanted to check out all the Harry Potter movies, and he actually liked them a lot.
Did he?
So he wants to go to Harry Potter World. He's taking me and my kids.
Wow.
And we're going, but not Harry Potter related necessarily. But that's why we're going. But Duff beer, we're gonna get some Duff beer, which I believe. Again, I'm not 100% certain.
You're giving spoilers here.
I'm not 100% certain, but what I heard from the behind the scenes, Duff Light is Bud Light, and Duff.
Well, you heard it from a pretty credible source.
I did. But also, well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I feel like now I'm a little bit more experienced with my palate, and I think I'll be able to tell.
You're like, man, that's Broken Skull Lager.
Yeah. I'm not that good yet, but I can tell. I'm not like wine tasting pro where it's like I can taste each individual hop and tell you what brewery it's from. But I think I'll be able to tell and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely Bud Light. Well, I don't know about Bud Light just because
Bud Light's pretty like it can taste like other beers too.
Yeah, which I'm more likely to get a light, but I might specifically because I'm talking about this right now and because I want to see if I can figure it out. I might actually get just a regular Duff beer just to be like, because I think Budweiser is very, like you could tell.
Oh yeah.
And so I might just specifically be like, I'll just get a regular Duff and be like, oh, that's definitely Budweiser, or that's not. And I'll definitely know after tonight because that's the beer we have in the fridge.
Yeah.
After we're done with these. How long have we been going, by the way?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I don't mind going on.
No, I don't mind either.
More about Stone Cold, but I also don't want this. Okay, it's not too bad. I don't want this to be another 4-hour episode like that one time we did that.
Just because.
So we're at about 2 hours, so we could either wrap up or we could go for a little bit longer. I feel like we didn't do too much Stone Cold. I mean, for the Stone Cold ones.
Okay.
If you got more to talk about.
No, it's fine. We do a little.
I think we go like another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If we got it. Well, what's another moment? So we talked about the Zamboni, we talked about the
Corvette.
beer truck, we talked about the cement and the Corvette, and we talked about the monster truck and the hospital. Excuse me. That's 5 of them. Let's see if we can get to 10.
Well, we can't forget his.
We were talking about the top 10 video. Let's make our own top 10 just on the top of our head.
One that is always in a top whatever for Stone Cold is the grocery store with Booker T.
Oh, and Austin 316, so that's 6.
That's true too. Booker T. Grocery store
7.
So they paid this grocery store to just close down for them, and they had a full-blown wrestling match inside a grocery store. I mean, they're hitting each other over the head with fruits and throwing each other into all this stuff.
That reminds me of something unrelated, but keep going.
No, that was it.
Oh. I do know exactly what you're talking about, though. I have seen that one before multiple times. That is a pretty good one. But so last week when we were doing the Cold Ones intro, that we ended up restarting because, again, audio problems.
Yeah.
I did start catching up on the Sunny podcast. I'm not completely caught up yet, but I'm like a couple episodes behind. But I watched a few of the episodes a few of the Sunny episodes, like the show, and then a few of the video podcasts today. They were talking about how a lot of their scenes and stuff, they don't like. They're never able to shut down the streets, or like how you just mentioned for Stone Cold's thing that they closed down the grocery store and recorded the scene. They were talking about like,
oh yeah,
like
you always see cars in the background. And stuff like that.
So they were talking about a lot of the times when they're coming out of Patty's pub and it's like an outdoor shot, and they're leaving Patty's like through the door and they're coming out to do whatever. They're saying that place is actually like a restaurant, and they're never able to shut it down, or at least during the season they're on right now. Maybe they can now, I don't know. But for season 3, at least, I think where I'm at in the podcast, they weren't able to shut the restaurant down. So they're like, it's still just a working restaurant. There's like people working there and like cooking. There's like people inside, and we just have to like be inside with our microphone or our walkie-talkies and stuff, and just waiting. And they're telling us, action, go outside. But they're like, but half the time we can't hear because it's loud inside. They're like playing music. There's people inside, and then they just have to burst. They're like kick the door open, and there's just people just like cooking, just like working, whatever. And then they're talking about even this last season that just came out when they're in Ireland.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't shut down the streets, so that like in between takes there'd be people just walking up to them and be like, "Hey, Charlie and Matt, can I get a picture with you?" And like they don't want to be dicks, so like, yeah, let's take a picture. But they're also like, we're kind of filming right now. Like, yeah, we'll take a picture real quick, but can you guys like stand over there, or whatever?
Get out of here.
And it's like and they're just like, how big do we have to be where we could close down a street?
Yeah, I know.
to film a scene.
I know, it's like 40 seasons in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, just a little side tangent. But So that's 7. What else you got?
The Alliance turn, heel turn. Oh no, the heel turn at WrestleMania 17, whenever he won and shook hands with Vince McMahon. 16, 17, 16. Someone will correct me. One of those.
But that was all a scheme
Yeah.
to get back at him.
But at the time, that's a shaking hands with the devil.
Yeah, but nobody knew.
Yeah.
That's why they did it. That was supposed to be him. Like, it looks like he's becoming a corporate guy, but really, there was some scheming behind that.
But so there was that was, well, his last match he ever had so far.
Until
Which we'll get there.
Oh.
Or now. Like, no.
We get there now. His last match he had until
was The Rock.
When is it?
Was The Rock. So his last match was with The Rock at WrestleMania, which that's a pretty great last match to have. You know, and he went out, but he didn't want to, he wasn't ready to retire. You know, he had all these neck injuries because he got spiked on his head by Owen Hart.
I wish I could get mad at the guy, but he's...
It's hard to get, yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't he die from a broken neck in the ring? I think he did.
He died of a broken everything because he fell from the ceiling.
Oh, I thought it was a move, a botched
Owen Hart?
move. Yeah.
Oh, no. Owen Hart. You remember when Sting used to rappel on a zip line? Yeah. Owen Hart was doing that at the time. You never heard of that, huh? So
I thought it was a botched move and he just broke his neck.
It was botched something. Owen Hart was at the top of the arena. Like in the rafters.
Oh my god.
And his D-ring, you know, the D-ring that holds your harness, completely opened up. And he free fell from the very top of the arena to the ring.
Damn.
And he died like...
That's like the same thing that happened to Tommy Lee. But he lived.
Yeah. Because his
wasn't
he's
as
that
high.
hard-headed.
Yeah.
But
well, his isn't that high either.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty. It's like 40 feet. But.
Yeah. No, Owen Hart, he fell like 60, 80 feet, something like that. And yeah, he died that night. It was on pay-per-view. It was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's great. Good
right?
for viewers.
Yeah, and they kept going too. They like
try to make it like that was supposed to happen.
Came out like it was crazy. And Stone Cold wrestled that right after. So, okay, there's the story for you. Owen Hart died in the ring.
I just thought of another moment. You continue,
Perfect.
but I'll bring mine up after you're done.
So Owen Hart falls and dies in that ring. And they come back and they just keep the show rolling. And the very next match is Stone Cold versus Kane in a first blood match. And that's that iconic shot of the blood falling from the ceiling and landing on Stone Cold and covering him. Yeah. He lost. He didn't actually bleed though, so it became a rivalry thing. But anyways, yeah, so there's a crazy story.
That's wild, man.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I thought it was... Because I know he's the one that kind of ruined Stone Cold's career.
Yeah, he
Because
did.
he screwed up, what was it, a pile driver or something?
A pile driver, yep.
And so I always thought it was kind of the reverse that killed him. It was basically the same thing, but it was more fatal.
Yeah.
But dude, that's...
Oh, he fell from the ceiling, yeah.
But that does remind me of another Stone Cold moment. I don't know if it's a moment, but just... after, because when Stone Cold got that botched pile drive and broke his neck, he was supposed to win that match.
Oh.
And it was just like, it was hard, I guess, where he could like barely move. He's like crawling around, and he's supposed to like try to knock him out somehow when he could barely stand up. And like you could watch back and could see that it's pretty bad. That it's like I'm not supposed to lose or win this match. And he's just like barely able to stand and trying to like take you down, and then he's just like. You're like barely touching the guy. He didn't like do any really cool finishing move or anything like that. And then they just count to 3, and it's like, oh, Stone Cold wins, and it's so like I said, it's not really. I don't know if it's a memorable moment, but it's
funny.
It's
weird.
Yeah, it's a highlight, I guess, in a way. I mean, it's sucks for both parties for sure, and especially for Stone Cold in that moment. But it's one of the ones that I would think of as.
Let's say that's number 9. They won't remember. Let's say that's number 9.
We don't remember. They'll remember.
And
I think we're at like 7 or 8, but
it's 9.
go for it. That's 9.
So I know 10 because I'm ready to listen to some Jet Black Romance and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think
So-
I've also had enough where I can't.
Yeah, it's
Make-
dude. I gotta say they're not heavy, but
They're not.
there's
But
a lot of it, and it's really good.
It's
so
hitting.
makes you- yeah,
It's
it definitely
hitting.
hits you.
I feel like I'm almost at the point where I can't make coherent sentences.
Yeah,
anymore.
we're
I'm
getting
almost
to that point.
I'm almost at the point where this is going to turn into the See, like that was just a random what that had nothing to do with anything. I'm almost at the point where this is going to be the cut segment from the Sunny Cold ones.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're like,
Bro,
"Wah,"
I'm
right
sitting
after.
here and can't make a sentence.
So,
So what's your 10? What's your number 10?
all right, number 10.
It's got to be a big one.
Yes, it is.
Especially if we're skipping a couple numbers.
Yep.
It's got to be a big one.
When Stone Cold, after 20 years,
Oh.
came straight into the camera and said, he said, I tell you, he said,
Okay. No worries.
that Kevin Owens, I'm coming back for you. That's what he did. And so, WrestleMania, Stone Cold is coming back
I got a
for a
question.
one-off.
What number? What number WrestleMania?
36?
I don't know.
32?
I couldn't even
30
say if you're wrong. I
It's
think
in
you're
the
wrong.
30s.
I think you're wrong, but I can't say.
It's in the 30s. I think it's 32. I could be wrong. I am wrong. But Stone Cold making that promo where he said, you know, I heard Kevin Owens talking about Texas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like talking trash on Texas. So, you know what? He's going to come back. And we're going to have a good time watching that. I know that. We're going to put it up on the projector. We're going to put it on the projector. We're going to have some beer.
We're gonna listen to it on the big screen. um, I'm a little worried though. I feel like it's not gonna be like a real like
It's not even
full
a full
match.
I doubt
Because
it.
he's too old for that, right? And I know there's definitely gonna be a Stone Cold Stunner. There has to be.
There's gonna be a couple because he stole the move from him.
That's true. I don't know what else exactly to expect, but I'm a little worried about it. Just because I feel like Stone Cold's always prone to these injuries and like these kind of matches like this, and it's like he's an old man now.
He's not that.
Well,
old.
just he's older than
Yeah.
his past injuries.
Yeah, but he's in better shape than any of us.
No,
Like,
he is, but it's like if he gets injured like that now,
that would suck.
He probably can't
it's
come back
harder
from
to
that.
recover from that, but like even if he comes out, I just want at least 6 minutes of wrestling.
I don't even know about that. It's gonna be like that.
Maybe not.
What if it's gonna end up being like that Mike Tyson fight where you and Sean came over and we planned a nice event and then we just watched them kind of waddle around for
Yeah.
15 minutes and no one did anything and it was a tie at the end.
Which is stupid because Mike Tyson won.
He definitely did.
But anyways,
I'm looking forward to it though.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope they do something really cool with it.
I think it'll be fun. I also think because talking about taking this time talking about the whole Stone Cold era and all the how cool it was back then, and looking at it now and how lame it is now,
Mm-hmm.
how much the promos suck,
Are they worthy of Stone
how
Cold?
bad the acting is. I feel like because we're getting the pay-per-view
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna watch it here, but I feel like we're not gonna watch any of it.
No, I don't care.
We're
about
gonna
the other
spend the
stuff.
whole time watching old
Stone Cold stuff.
clips and Stone Cold wrestling until
Yeah.
his match comes up, and then be like, okay, let's put
Time
it
for
on
Stone Cold.
and watch that. Like
But you know what? That's our age, our age group. That's fine.
but that kind of makes me think. I feel like, so you know how we're now. I mean, it's been happening for a while, but we're now kind of like in the age of Hollywood's kind of just like rebooting
Remakes.
everything.
Yeah, everything's.
And I
remakes.
feel like because the younger generation is into a bunch of stuff I don't understand. I think Hollywood also doesn't understand. They don't know what to make that's new.
Yeah.
They're all just trying to appeal to us and older.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, Star Wars. They're bringing
Yeah.
back all the old
They
characters.
just did a Texas Chainsaw remake.
They did Texas Chainsaw. It's all reboots, remakes,
Yeah.
or if it's not like Star Wars, they are continuing the story, but they keep bringing back these
Oh,
old
yeah.
characters. We got
all
Luke
fan service.
Skywalker's back.
It's all fan service.
We got Boba Fett back.
Yeah.
We got and like our generation, I think, is the last one that could enjoy that. I don't know the next,
No,
the one
they're
younger
big.
than us. They don't know who this stuff is.
Yeah.
But and I feel like that's where AEW is going,
Yeah.
which is fine because
But for how long is it?
I still feel like I hate to say it because I think Sean was trying to say that this is like the next Attitude Era, and I wouldn't go that far, but I will say I think they are definitely gonna surpass WWE
They're pushing it more.
because WWE is super censored now.
Mhm.
The acting's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Super censored now. The acting is horrible. The promos suck. They got a bunch of no-name wrestlers that have no cool gimmick or anything like that. And and like I tried watching it and it's so hard to watch.
Yeah,
I
it
tried
is.
watching last year's WrestleMania and it was just like this
Yeah.
is bad.
But I
And-
think if we get some Broken Skull Lager, we get some pizza,
Oh, we'll have a good time.
we'll have a great time.
We'll have a good time either way.
Yeah.
But my point is, I think AEW is going that route of just getting all these wrestlers
Legacy.
that people that like us would be into. Like they got CM Punk,
Yeah.
they got Sting, Hardy Boys, Big Show, except he can't use that name because that's owned by WWE. But what's his name?
Paul White.
Paul White. Just all these people that we grew up with and that we know. It's like, let's bring them all back.
And we'll hold on to that crowd for another 5 years.
Yeah, we'll try. Well, as long as they could, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I am curious to see the Hardy Boys just because
Well, this is their last run, so
they were a great tag team, but they're also a lot older now. It's like they probably can't
I
do
sent
half
my-
the moves they used to do.
I sent my mom a picture of them from the other day. She's like, "Oh my god, they've gotten so much older."
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
like
she remembers them from when I was mimicking them, and
Mhm.
like
yeah, they were a great tag team. Jeff
mimicking
Hardy
them during the white leather video.
with the sleeves. They were a wild tag team, and Jeff Hardy was freaking nuts with his
Nuts.
moves and stuff. And I'm sure he'll still try to do some of that stuff, but just with age and stuff, you can't do those types of things all the time without.
Well, the swanton, he used to land on his head on their body. You remember that? His head would always hit their stomach. Now he's like, dude, I gotta think of me first. So now,
Yeah.
now he just lands on him flat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, like we were saying, I do want to go see him at the Forum. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then maybe in Ontario because that's by
And the
me,
Forum is
and that'll probably be way
Greatest
cheaper.
venue of all time. because that was before people started making these stupid venues where to get in the arena you got to go in and out of all these different sections. No, the Forum is just one giant circle.
But you know what?
Circle. It's a circle.
It's circular.
You
It's
go
up and down and
all
around. But you know what's the new big thing? Or maybe it's not, but I think it might be the new big thing is the globe. The one they're making in
Ocean?
Vegas.
That.
Because I think they're making that somewhere else too. I forgot where it was.
Burbank.
Yeah. I knew it was in California somewhere. I just didn't remember where. I think that's going to be the new thing. They're going to be making these instead of
ugly buildings.
these low wide things, they're going to make these
instead of down and low, it goes up and high and all
high and
around.
tight.
High and tight.
They're gonna make these Quidditch World Cup freaking things. You getting out of here? It looks like
out of here, man.
it looks like we're ready to go.
Well,
I think it's been long enough.
Yeah.
I feel like to call this Stone Cold Ones wasn't Stone Cold enough, but I still had a good time.
I had a great time.
We drank a lot of Stone Cold's alcohol.
Stone
Beer.
Cold's.
We still got a couple more we'll be drinking when we're out of here.
Guys, honestly, this is not a plug. Try this. It's really good.
We were talking about in the new season of Cold Ones, we're gonna do some changes and try to upgrade the show a little bit, and maybe start rating some beers.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to start rating until the new season, but I will put this beer, of all the beers I've had on Cold Ones, it's got to be 2 or 3 for me.
You talking about out of 5?
No, out of the list of beers I've drank in my life.
Oh, I see.
Because obviously for me, number one's Miller Lite.
You're always gonna have that.
Number 2, this is tied. I hate to say it because I'm a Miller guy, and I know this beer. I would get a lot of crap for this if I would get a lot of crap for this, but I will say I do enjoy Bud Light, even though I know it's not a great beer. As far as just beer in general goes, it's like very kind of watered down.
It's just beer.
But I do like, just because I'm mostly a light drinker, and I think I do like Bud Light better than Coors Light. I just prefer to order Coors Light because my Miller Lite's disappearing on the face of the planet, at least in California. But anyway, so I would put this somewhere up there. I gotta say it's better than Bud Light. Just because I feel
No, I think so too.
I feel like Bud Light is a horrible beer to have in second place.
Dude, you know what?
So this is a visual representation. First place, second place beer on my list.
I am gonna meet you there because I agree. I do think
You agree with the first place beer?
no.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better than Bud Light?
Yeah.
But obviously Budweiser's my number 1. Man, this is up there. This is really good. I don't know. I would say like 3.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3.
It's really close. Dude,
Yeah.
So I don't have any complaints about it. So that's a good thing, because even beers I really like, you can still find a complaint.
One thing I will say is I'm very satisfied with it, and the fact that I was really looking forward to this beer coming out, and I was really worried I would be disappointed.
Me too.
And I have, like you said, I have no complaints. There's nothing.
No, it's just a solid lager beer.
And like you said too, it's really smooth.
I think that's what threw me off at first, because you don't get that harsh beer thing. Not that that's a bad thing, because I like it, and so do you. But like this, it's a smooth drink. I really like it. So I think you guys should try it. I'm gonna definitely keep an eye out to get more of it.
So I think what we're gonna do in the future, and it probably won't be in the next couple episodes, but once it's the new year of Cold Ones, which will be, I guess, starting the first week of March. Or where are we? No, just kidding. The first week of May. We're already past March. Or we're in March. First week of May. I think what we're gonna do is, we're gonna at least try to get back on doing the same beer each week.
Mm-hmm.
And we could even rehash some of the ones we've done in the past, since we weren't rating them or anything. And I'll come up with a little graphic we could put on the side and just like kind of have that in there. and have like a cold one's rating. Of
Yeah.
Where this lies in the ratings of beer with our inexperienced beer taste buds, and it'll be great. But until then, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this was stone cold enough to call the stone cold ones. And I highly recommend and endorse trying the Steve Austin Broken Skull Lager. I also recommend trying the IPA, even though I never had it. But
I would recommend it.
I know there's a lot of the beer drinkers out there prefer the darker beers over the stuff I'm into, so I think you would enjoy it probably.
It's got a good flavor.
I do want to try it at some point.
Until then,
let's get out of here and watch some Jet Black Romance. Do that thing.
thank you very much. We will see you next Friday.
Cheers.